It started. What's up, YouTube and Twitch? Um, right now we're gonna be reacting to. Hold on, I can't see this shit. I made an ecosystem that's only predators. Then we're reacting to. I got it in a queue right here. Creating the largest life form possible. I'm gonna watch that after this because it's about the same person. Then the entire Outlast story. These two are just interesting to me. I want to see how they go. And then the entire Outlast story because I'm playing that. So without further ado, let's get to it. I'm gonna put these probably in their own separate videos because I don't want to put it all in the same one. So yeah, get to the first one. I made an ecosystem that's only predators.
Cows don't eat humans, as far as we know.
Something.
They eat plants and are eaten by predators. That's how ecosystems work. But what if we turned cows into predators, along with every herbivore species? Could a world of endless predation even function? How would we possibly simulate it, and what kinds of terrors would it produce? Let's go down the list. First problem, energy. Flip a switch that turns all life into predators, and you'll very quickly have no more life.
Yeah.
In nature, carnivores eat herbivores, which eat producers, which eat the sun. But if we remove the producer plants that convert sunlight into chemical energy, we'll have no base to build our all-predator utopia upon. And it's not like there are predatory plants. Oh wait, there totally are. Flytraps, pitcher plants, sundews deprive our leafy friends of nitrogen, and they'll get a craving for flesh. So let's say all photosynthetic plants in our alternate Earth moonlight in carnivory, and now we can have vegetation while technically staying all predators. Okay, but plants only transfer energy to animals when eaten, which leads us to issue 2, herbivores. Swap Earth's A+ prey over to the predator track, and not only would the biosphere collapse, but so too would said species' grades in not starving. To illustrate, elephants are pretty tough. Throw an elephant into the ring with virtually any animal and the one with the trunk is taking home the belt. But just because elephants can easily KO a testy buffalo doesn't mean they could run one down predator style. An elephant's top speed is maybe half a water buffalo's, a quarter of a gazelle's. If they want to pass Carnivore 101, something needs to change.
Ooh. So he's gonna not just make them predators just by default and say what would happen if they were just predators. He's gonna this nigga's going to change how they are and their whole fucking biology to make them into predators. This nigga's smart as shit.
This gets us to the core of our herbivore versus carnivore dilemma. What makes a good plant eater usually makes for a terrible meat eater. Reversing things, though a deer could outrun a wolf, even if they had sharp teeth, actually subduing one is out of the question. A deer adapted for predation would need to look completely different. Likewise, our carnivorous elephant will require more than new dentures. They'll likely have to be lighter and faster, with body parts specifically adapted to neutralizing prey after catching up to them. There's a lot more to say about how insane animals in our all-predator ecosystem will look, but the more immediate issue is, again, if nobody is eating plants, there's no energy coming in, and the planet will be out of order in a week. Nature has a fix here, albeit a horrifying one. See, horses already hunger for flesh. Oh, they might prefer grass, but place a
Hold on. I can't see the shit. Uh, oh. Can't see the shit. Oh, shut the fuck up. Okay.
a rodent or baby animal in front of them and it's chow time. Deer will do the same, so will cows, giraffes, rabbits, hippos. The disturbing truth is, in nature, categories aren't clean and nobody likes passing up on free nutrients. But that goes both ways. Wolves will sometimes eat plants, same with bears. So, all told, primary consumers in our predator world could still eat a sustainable quantity of plants, while technically remaining facultative carnivores/omnivores. So to make this work, let's just tweak how nutrition functions in this reality so that any grazers also need to stay on that predator grind set. So that's herbivores fixed, but now predators have a problem. Because to be a predator of predators, a hunter in a reality where grass eaters are also honed for the hunt would be a tricky job indeed. It's possible we'd see predators adopt defenses typically just for—
I think wolves are actually pussy. I think I could take a wolf if I really wanted to, bro. One wolf, bare hands, that nigga's dead. I could take a wolf one-on-one. Nobody needed, bro. They're weak.
prey. Physical barricades like spines or shells, active deterrents like horns and antlers, maybe even some chemical spray. It may sound outlandish, but you can see examples of this in nature. Compare, for instance, tigers and scorpions. Tigers are privileged, streamlined and fast and unarmored because no one eats them and they eat everyone. Scorpions, meanwhile, are in the nightmare zone of the food web. They're carnivores that eat insects and mice twice their size, but are also prey themselves. Hence why scorpions must be armed from tip to tail in a way few predators are. And brief aside, ever notice how no predators have horns? You'd think some spiky bits would be helpful, but with the dubious exception of certain lizards, horns are only for the hunted. On hunters, they seemingly get in the way. But in a reality where that herd of bovines are just as likely to flip the script and eat you, investing in some defense might be a good call. We can get a better sense of what specific traits our predators of predators would favor through simulating natural selection.
I think. But bro, you gotta think about it. What would need a horn though? Well, I guess all of them would need horns. Some type of defense, because all of them are going to be predators at this point.
This program by MinuteLabs.io, inspired by those great evolution videos from the channel Primer, essentially works by throwing a bunch of blobs into an environment with limited food, and with each generation, the blobs favor better and better traits. When a blob gets big enough, it can eat other blobs, so let's mess with their stats to make them mostly carnivores and see what happens. Many generations later, what's notable is that while a lot of blobs stay big and bad, just like in nature, smaller builds prioritizing keen senses and raw speed manage to eke out their own niche. Goes to show that even in a world of predators, there'd be diversity. Agile pursuit predators, ambush predators, insectivores with sharp eyesight, you can see such variety in the world today. And it's worth re-emphasizing, we didn't tell the simulation to mimic natural patterns. It just did so through the blind force of selective pressures and the laws of energy efficiency. Not every predator can be at the top, which is indeed problem 4, apex.
So what the fuck is he going? So okay, a whole ecosystem, right? What predator is going to be at the top of that list, bro? Cause oh well, apex does mean okay. Let me shut the fuck up and let him speak.
Predators. Predators of predators of predators are essential keystones for ecosystem health. But what could be a head predator in a world like this one? There's two possible answers, the first of which is its own massively insane rabbit hole, so let's start with the second. Simply put, even in hyper-competitive ecosystems, apex predators still tend to emerge. After millions of years of theropods jockeying for dominance, the old T-Rex enjoyed a lengthy, uncontested reign with almost no rivals. Time and sufficient pressure will forge monsters among monsters. Of course, trying to determine what specific species would go on to become apex hunters in our new timeline is pure conjecture, but that's kind of what we're here for. Give all species on Earth a fighting chance at predation, and you'd likely see some very unexpected candidates rise to the top of their ecosystems. While it might seem improbable for kangaroos to become colossal predators or koalas to become ambush hunters, stranger candidates have become top carnivores before. Bringing it back to the dinos, the ancestor of the T-Rex and other theropods was a tiny, chicken-sized omnivore, hardly the bedding pool fool's favorite for becoming the largest hunter on land. Give predation to the masses, and monster predators could truly come from anywhere. We also need to remember that monster predators might not look like we expect. The deadliest predator on Earth today is arguably the dragonfly, with a 95 to 97% successful hunt rate. Lions,
Okay.
you wish.
But they're going against small ass fucking creatures, gang. I know a fucking dragonfly is not killing a person. So, a lion, that's killing somebody, bro. So,
Likewise,
not me. I could take that one on one, but that's just me. Y'all kind of pussy, so.
one of the most lethal hunters in the ocean is the seahorse. Goofy from our perspective, but if you're a brine shrimp, the seahorse is basically the Grim Reaper. Strange as it might sound, there's no reason to think certain existing hunters like the great horned owl would need to change their strategies if booted into predator world. They'd be like, oh, rodents have fangs now? Pfft, whatever. Hyper-effective hunters come in all
like some of
shapes
them
and
don't.
sizes,
They don't
which
really
at last leads us back
change
to
the
the
things that you
massive
fucking
rabbit
bitch
hole,
made to do
humans.
anyway, even if they
Would
did have some sort
squishy
of
Homo
defense.
sapiens once again ascend to the top of the food web in this alternate timeline,
Yeah.
or might a different species be taking the top
I'm not gonna lie, I think humans will still be at the top. Because no animals really think like us unless he gives them some fucking. Well, some animals are intelligent, like really intelligent, and almost comparable to us, to like humans. But at the same time, they don't have the abilities or capabilities to do what we can do though. You know, just some gangster shit, some smart shit.
spot. This is the biggest missing piece in determining the fate of Predator World, and an exceedingly tricky question to answer. Like, imagine you're a Stone Age tribesperson living at the end of the last glacial maximum. How do you like your chances in this world where anything, pure predator or no, sees you as a potential food source? To simulate this experience, I'll be playing Minecraft with its code modified so that all species try to eat me. I only use the most advanced tech on this channel. Okay, crudeness aside, the experience of surviving in an ecosystem where there's absolutely zero safety in any species was surprisingly illuminating. Funny though it was to be pursued by a pack of
This is not
carnivorous
accurate.
chickens, always being on the run meant my plans for tools, shelter, and sustainable food were pushed out of my brain by the constant need to stay alive. Though hardly a controlled experiment, I found myself doing very little home building or weapon crafting because literally all I could think about was where to get my next meal and how to avoid becoming one. This, one can easily assume, would be the experience of primitive humans in Predator World. An experience that doesn't seem particularly conducive to building civilization. And
don't know,
indeed,
bro.
a lot of the tools required for a civilization starter pack might be walled off entirely in this timeline. Most obviously, animal domestication. Our first puzzle piece within the larger puzzle piece of human success, penning and selectively breeding animals is a major key to stable society, but let me tell you, it's a lot harder to establish a farm when that flock of sheep is moving on you like a wolf pack. A lot of familiar herbivores that made for great domesticated animals would suddenly become terrible candidates if they had a predation side job. And that's not just because they might eat us. Even if you can domesticate a carnivore, keeping one fed is a costly novelty. In the case of herbivores, humans can't eat grass, so feeding a regular cow is no big hassle for us. But hunting down a steady diet of meat for your penned carnivore, pricey work in an early agrarian world. Consider that pandas are basically semi-carnivorous cows, same coloration, same refinement when it comes to eating, yet you don't see a whole lot of humans hitching tractors to them. And that's not just because pandas are lazy, it's also because they're still very much bears. Solitary, unpredictable, territorial, with a powerful bite and the instinct to use it. Hardly an ideal partner to get into the agriculture business with. Yet in an all-predator timeline, there might be no partners, period. So, are humans cooked? Well, I'd hardly say we're out of the oven, but there are other factors to consider. Sure, trying to tame a carnivorous, pack-hunting horse is a horrifying prospect. Attempting to do so in Minecraft definitely made me appreciate how fast these monsters are, but horses are only horses because humans got their grubby domesticating hands on them. Early prehistoric equines were both smaller and not as singularly bred for speed. And while I don't relish the idea of getting attacked by, like, a pony, it sounds a fair bit more manageable. And humans have managed to strike bargains with similarly sized facultative carnivores in the past. Wolves are indeed the first animals we ever domesticated, dangerous beasts who nonetheless hunted and lived alongside us and got more and more used to following orders and eating whatever scraps we had left over. Modern dogs are proof that under the right circumstances, predator domestication is not only possible, it can be an award-winning success. But successfully kickstarting civilization usually requires both domesticated animals and a caloric surplus, or enough food to not only meet immediate needs, but provide a nutritional excess so that people can start focusing on more specialized tasks. That means permanent farms, which one must defend and maintain, a perilous operation for the people of Predator World. How could humans protect large swaths of land from constant animal attacks? Well, they might not have to. It's time we finally...
Because they shouldn't have to, bro. If these animals are trying to eat other animals, are they gonna attack land? I don't think so. So it makes sense that they are not trying to attack the land. I think that's what he's gonna say. I'm trying to make these smart statements before he makes them, so to prove that I'm actually too intelligent to even watch this video for real. But on some gangster shit.
Face the fact that while Hollywood teaches us that predators are heat-seeking missiles, torpedoes hurtling towards the nearest prey species, the reality is most predators aren't nearly as single-minded as the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park suggest. Catching prey is a calorically costly endeavor that often involves bodily risk. Species only attempt it if they're very confident they're about to get a worthwhile meal. You can see this in our blob simulation. Big blobs only chase down little blobs when absolutely necessary. Predators won't waste energy on a hunt if there's any reason to be apprehensive. It's why sharks and wolves rarely attack humans. We're freaky and stinky and unpredictable. This is a truth we've kind of danced around all video, but it's a critical one. Even if you gave chickens a predation instinct,
you stink.
It's unlikely they would actually see humans as food. They might nip at us because they're jerks, but they do that already. On the whole, carnivorous chickens wouldn't be that different from regular chickens, and are another animal that Predator World humans could likely domesticate. Like, if chickens had to snack on the occasional mouse, I'm sure we could handle that, seeing how they already eat various insects. But back to the point, even if defending significant territory, humans in this timeline are unlikely to be overwhelmingly menaced by wild beasts. Because make it clear you want an easy meal, and generally, most predators won't bother.
That arch is crazy,
so it seems like humans might be able to maintain the farmland and domesticate the animals required to reach the top of all predator reality after all. But there's one other, more disturbing possibility for this world's apex hunter. A species adapted specifically to hunt humans. Because here's the thing, for early hominids, animal attacks were a part of life. Big cats, hyenas, wild dogs, crocodiles, all occasionally snacked on our ancestors according to the fossil record. Yet for the most part, these animals were not human hunting specialists. Hominids rolled onto the evolutionary scene rather quickly, and they had a habit of traveling to new ecosystems where predators were unfamiliar with them, making them a rare food source. There's tangential evidence one big cat species learned to feed on hominids specifically, but it's been increasingly debunked. Humans simply power-walked their way to civilization too quickly. But say, in predator reality, hominids made slower progress, giving more and more opportunity for carnivores to adapt to our behaviors, until eventually a species emerged that knows our every weakness and hunts us with ease. What exactly a predator adapted for hunting humans would look like could frankly be its own video.
It could.
But
it could be its own video. but it's not going to. You have to say it in this fucking video, buddy. Bro, what the fuck type of animal would that be? That would have to be something similar to a human. It would have to be something similar to us. Like something that it would have to be big, smart, and just huge. It would have to be smart, big, and huge, bro. Oh, hey. I see you in the chat. I see you in the chat. If you just now joining, we watching. I made an ecosystem that's only predators. Right now, he's about to say the predator that would literally be made just to fucking kill humans. As I was saying, the predator has to be big, smart, and extremely able to use like probably has to have the same type of hands we have, bro, or more. Bro, what if he makes forearms from Ben 10? All right, let's get to what he's about to say.
It's a downright chilling concept. Admittedly, not the most likely one, as large specialist predators are somewhat uncommon, but they do happen. Polar bears are a seal's worst nightmare, as the bulk of these bears' diets and therefore the bulk of their adaptations are specialized to take out our flippered friends. And another side note, they're also one of the few species that explicitly sees humans as food, though they aren't especially adapted to hunt us. But if humans had an equivalent specialist predator, our progress might—
Let me see something. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, skates. Okay, so what's popping up here, bro? I gotta see if I can move this low key. It's stuck. Never mind.
might be greatly stalled, which means, hey man, you've been talking about humans for a while. Is this rabbit hole almost finished?
Yeah,
It's
I'm like, bro, can you get to the fucking part? What are you
finished
talking
when
about?
I permit it to finish.
Oh,
Because
sorry.
there's one last elephant in the room here. Not the weighty mammal, but the equally weighty possibility that in this all-predator timeline, Homo sapiens would have fundamentally different defensive capabilities. Assuming our primate ancestors ever emerged in this reality in the first place, they would have done so in the midst of increased predation pressures, and might therefore have invested in biological protections that would make them more difficult to prey upon. We are admittedly pretty far out on a hypothetical limb here.
But if that was the case, would we be dumber? Because a lot of those things, like when in like evolution and shit, this is some smart nigga shit. In evolution, sometimes you have to sacrifice your intelligence to have better physical capabilities to be a predator or to survive. So would humans be dumber because they would have to be stronger physically or be something more physically? Let's see.
But pushing past uncertainties is what this video is all about, because, brief rant, there are plenty of other potential issues with predator reality we've had to gloss over. For instance, even if the majority of predators were also eating plants, there's probably still not enough energy to go around without modifying vegetation itself. It's also true that trying to be a top herbivore and a top carnivore at the same time tends to be inefficient, which is why most species find success in emphasizing one or the other. So even if someone was crazy enough to create Predator World through means of genetic engineering, give it a few tens of millions of years and there's a chance natural selection would just sort species back out into mostly herbivores and mostly carnivores, unless you keep your thumb on the scale. But the point of a thought experiment is to experiment, not to hit a dead end and just give up. Okay, back to primates. What outlandish defenses might they have in this alternate reality? Well, assuming they're still starting in the trees, any deterrents like spines or armor plating might be too heavy, but some semi-arboreal species, like the pangolin, can still climb despite their armored fashion sense, so physical defenses are indeed a possibility. Yet the greatest potential defense for primates in Predator World is one they already have: cooperation. That's right, the power power of group projects.
The power
everyone's
of
favorite.
fucking friendship.
Seriously though, in nature there are few things more valuable than a species capable of effective coordination, and that would hold true in predator reality. Indeed, chances are this trait would be even more critical. Which brings us to our final essential point for simulating this all-predator biosphere, determining how species would work together. Evolutionarily, cooperation is an inherent idea, with various simulations demonstrating that it can emerge spontaneously on both a cellular and intraspecies level. Smaller units working together to act as one big one is how all multicellular life functions. And over again, said lifeforms have similarly learned to cooperate with others of their own kind. Long story short, teamwork makes the dream work. But in a world of all predators, teamwork might look fundamentally different. And that's because a pack of predators and a herd of prey do not function the same way. Let me explain. Herds of grazers tend to be disorganized. They might group together because there's safety in numbers, but they seldom put those numbers to use in terms of planning or coordination. They're more a crowd at the same concert than a tight-knit unit. Indeed, far from the altruistic eusociality of insects, most herbivorous mammals are kind of selfish, as oftentimes the individuals that got to reproduce, and therefore pass on their genes, were the ones that ditched their buddies the fastest when predators descended, leading to entire species made entirely of the type of unreliable jerks who will leave you in the dust when you need them the most. In contrast, pack hunters, surprisingly, tend to
So I might have spaced out. Did he say what the fuck humans would be or no? Just team.
be much more cooperative.
see.
They need to
I
be
wanna
in
know what would
lockstep,
happen.
divide up
Just
their labor,
teamwork or
and plan
anything
ambushes
else?
in advance if they're going to catch their prey with minimal injuries. So in a world where all animals have a mandatory predation quota, even those who get much of their nutrients from plants, the line between packs and herds might have to blur, and effective coordination could become far more common. We can see examples of what a tight-knit herd might look like in nature. Herds of buffalo have a pre-planned military-style formation they'll fall into to protect their young. Elephants are also known to group up effectively, and will even engage in more active predator deterrence. The final, most relevant example of herd solidarity, however, is troops of primates. Gorillas, with their careful coordination and social hierarchies, are a preeminent example of highly cooperative herbivores. Likewise, chimps are an equally preeminent and rather terrifying example of cooperative pack hunters. Battles between primates are often referred to as wars, and for good reason. When two highly organized groups come to blows, the conflict tends to be very intense indeed. So in predator reality, if most species are coordinating, ecosystems might be even more competitive than we initially thought, on a level typically only associated with the world of insects. Solitary hunters like tigers might need to get over their introversion. All told, an ecosystem of predators stretches the very bounds of nature and might inspire clashes that are difficult to fathom. Yet, and I hope I've made this clear throughout this video, such a reality would be far more complex than a simple staging ground for eternal violence. Even in a world of increased conflict, predators would still exercise caution and fill a variety of niches beyond apex warmongers, and cooperation would still be encouraged, maybe even more so than in our reality. And while humans ascending to the top of this reality remains an unknown, there is a chance, and either way, Predator World would assuredly give rise to fascinating, if terrifying, ecosystems. Ultimately, a kingdom of predators would never just be a kingdom of monsters. To quote one Dr. Henry Wu, monster is a relative term. To a canary, a cat is a monster. We're just used to being the cat. So, while trying to determine if humans could survive in a world of all predators, I started to wonder, what animal species could the average person beat in a fight? Because
I'm beating everything.
I usually try to end these videos with a meaningful question. Sometimes all I want to think about is what would happen if a person bare-knuckle boxed a tiger. Trying to figure out how high humans could climb in an animal battle royale was an unexpectedly wild trip. a trip you can go on right now in a full second video available exclusively on Nebula. Nebula is a lot of things. A streaming platform where you can watch my videos early and ad-free, a home for
WAG. So that's the end of the video. So I'm not gonna lie. Cool video. Like cool video, but he never actually like really created an ecosystem of predators. He just theorized an ecosystem of predators. Like I thought it was gonna be like an actual thing where he's making a whole ecosystem. No, he just theorized. Like, okay, so yeah, blah blah blah, this, that. He never actually answered any of the questions that he presented. like all the questions and theories that he put out here, he never actually answered them and like something that would make sense. He just said, yeah, this and yeah, that. I mean, W video for what it was, but didn't really make sense completely to me. Let's go to this one, creating the largest life form possible. But it better not be another, oh, I'm gonna give this question here, but I'm also just gonna not answer it. Just gonna tell you something that could happen. I'm not gonna actually answer about how it could happen or why it could happen or, you know, what this could be. So
Giants aren't rational. Not when it comes to biology, where every centimeter a lifeform gains means a mad battle against gravity, heat, circulation. Yet humans have always been obsessed with extremes of size, in nature and, when nature falls short, in our wildest imaginations. Because surely there is a maximum, the largest lifeform possible, and it's time.
I think if the world had less mass, just on some scientific shit, if the world had less mass, everything would be bigger. Like trees would grow bigger, humans would be bigger, animals would be bigger, if that, I think. But I might be on some dumbass shit, but
We find the limit. Okay, so there is a problem. A few problems, actually, and we'll be covering them all, but the most immediate is the issue of mass. Though as a Godzilla-obsessed child, I would have once told you that the only reason there aren't more giant creatures is because nature is a coward, today I understand that if one tries to create the largest life form by simply increasing the size of an existing animal, said animal will likely explode. This has to do with the square-cube law, a quirk of mathematics that means an object's volume increases faster than its surface area, which causes a host of issues for the biggest animals. To illustrate, imagine if you had 13 times more skin. Sounds like a lot of skin? Well, such is the life of an elephant, as their surface area is around 13.1 times greater than ours.
Big
But that
sloppy
means their
nigga.
volume is almost 60 times greater. Suddenly, all that extra skin barely sounds
like, bro, just look at it, bro. I love elephants, but damn, nigga, you just big and sloppy. Just a big sloppy monster. You just big and sloppy, bro. But I mean, you cool though.
like enough. Indeed, since the epidermis is how animals release heat, elephants scarcely have sufficient exterior to release the heat produced by their gargantuan interior, hence why they're so fond of baths and need big old ears designed to dispel warmth. Size is an exponential convection oven. Temperatures only increase the bigger you get. Yet while being cooked alive by physics is a major reason why nature hasn't produced skyscraper-sized land animals, heat isn't the most obvious danger of increasing mass. That would be the risk of pulverized bones, because some sort of skeleton has to hold up all that snowballing weight, and while smaller animals can get away with proportionally smaller bones, larger animals of course require larger skeletons, and there's a point where the math stops mathing.
Right.
Sauropod dinosaurs with their hollow bones cheated for as long as they could, but even still, it seems like somewhere around 120 tons, a species' leg bones would have to become so thick to support their bodies that they literally couldn't take a single step. Okay, so these are pretty fundamental constraints on the maximum size of a life form. Constraints we will be
What is
doing our
that
best to get
game?
around later in
That
this
shit
video.
look fun.
Yet I remember when I was younger, I kind of didn't believe they
This
existed
shit.
in the first place. Part of that disbelief came from the fact that I wanted giant monsters to be real, so any talk of restrictions was almost blasphemous. But another part came from the fact that, when my eyes wandered over the tops of buildings and into the vast sky, the image of a colossal creature looming upon that horizon felt so close, like I was grasping at the ghost of something real. In my defense, it's not like there haven't been giant land animals, and I'm hardly the first person to obsess over them. In the paleontology community, there has long been a focused and, indeed, somewhat unscientific drive to determine the largest dinosaur species. People are captivated by entities that push the limits. Indeed, here's an opportunity to take our first crack at modeling a contender for the largest possible life form. If we imagine a
Bro, the largest fucking life form, bro, it doesn't fucking matter. I could take it, bro. Largest thing, I could take it. Like, that don't fucking matter, nigga. In the pause. In a fight, bro. In a
sauropod that adopted a semi-sessile lifestyle to the point where walking was no longer a major concern,
shut the fuck up.
we might be envisioning the largest scientifically possible land animal.
The fuck?
And while I have no artistic talent
Is this?
to bring such a species to life, I do
Jesus.
have MS Paint in a dream. Our Juggernautosaurus is a decent first attempt at envisioning the closest thing nature could make to a kaiju, but as it approaches 120 tons, it would probably need to be semi-aquatic. Which brings us to the reason that even larger species than sauropods have historically been found in Earth's oceans. The buoyancy of liquid, plus water's ability to function as a natural coolant, means life in the deep has never faced the same limits as life on land. So an oceanic creature might be our best bet for a record breaker, but there are still limitations. While mass isn't the major problem when it comes to whales and the extinct giants of the past, food is still a significant roadblock. Even with a slow metabolism, every animal on Earth must eat to power their cells, and larger animals have a lot more cells, meaning they need that much more food to meet their energy demands. Baleen whales are basically all mouth and have literal clouds of docile krill that they can swim directly into, but blue whales are still so ludicrously gigantic that if they don't eat around 8.4 elephants worth of krill a week, they're at risk of starving. So while mass-wise we could have way larger aquatic species, evolutionarily, growing beyond the size of a whale typically isn't worth the greatly increased probability of going hungry. But again, when I was younger, I would not accept this.
Buddy, I don't give
Going
a
as
fuck
far
about
as
how
to
you
make
were
my
in first
science
grade,
project and attempt
boy.
to prove there were creatures in the deep ocean longer than the blue whale. I had a conviction that somewhere in the abyssal trenches of the ocean, there must be leviathans that exceeded all science could imagine, even if I couldn't tell you what they were eating.
Oh my God.
I had some tangential.
There's this fucking anime. It's called I think it's called Kaiju. I think it's literally called Kaiju. Kaiju number 9 or some shit. That shit's so fucking good. So fucking good. You ever have an action scene or somebody transforming and it just makes you smile because you're like, damn, this is hard. Oh my fucking, that's it. Oh my fucking God.
Evidence
It's amazing.
Ribbon worms, a kind of aquatic invertebrate, can reach a shocking 180 feet or 55 meters, genuinely longer than any whale species. Though I didn't like how these worms were so much skinnier than your average whale, nor how their most impressive records of length were somewhat unsubstantiated, I still felt they were proof that undersea life could grow far larger than we knew. Later, I latched onto accounts of siphonophores, which have been recorded at almost 400 feet or 120 meters long. The caveat being that such life forms are in fact thousands of smaller life forms working together, which, while cool, also felt like cheating. Young me didn't want some thin, unsubstantiated technicality to unseat the whale. I wanted a Leviathan that was solid, immutable, physical. And I don't think I am alone in this desire, if the popularity of giant underwater creature animations on YouTube is to be believed. Some titanic serpent in the ocean's depths feels right in the same way a colossus looming over a skyline does. It feels like it should exist. Today, I do think siphonophores deserve a fair shot when it comes to envisioning the largest hypothetical life form. While it's true they're technically a colony of individual units, under the right circumstances, a siphonophore could evolve truly eldritch proportions, making them worthy of consideration. I could see them either becoming the longest species in the sea by far, or becoming massive city-like entities rooted to a single spot, feeding on either photosynthesis or geothermal energy. That second option for the largest possible siphonophore, which we can call Siphonophora gigantea, is pretty close to the vent gardens from the game Subnautica. Giant clonal organisms that get all their energy from plants growing within their transparent bodies. Siphonophores are indeed one of the more plausible paths to creating the type of building-sized organisms you see in works like Subnautica. And yet despite this, most of the Leviathans in that game and other forms of media are solid flesh and blood creatures. In fact, I seldom hear the vent gardens mentioned when it comes to discussions of the largest creatures in Subnautica's oceans. They almost don't count. Here again is that subconscious desire for record-setting giants to be material. And I can, of course, relate. Because while child me didn't want to hand the trophy to siphonophores, to accept that the blue whale was indeed the largest animal on record felt like admitting defeat. The truth is, I don't think our minds are very good at comprehending how big a regular whale can grow. For centuries, humans literally could not fathom a whale in its totality. The Leviathan's inaccurate depictions in art
Is that it? Is he eating his ass? Oh my god. Nah, he looking at that nigga gooch. Next.
The Leviathan's inaccurate depiction all at once. They had to be taken in piecemeal, and still it feels like the raw enormity of the creatures were lost in translation. Even today, I'm not convinced we can really grasp a whale's size through out-of-context video clips. Though much has been written on whale falls, how when these giants die at sea, their bodies form miniature ecosystems, vanishingly little has been written on the impact of a whale's remains washed ashore. To see the bones of a whale next to more familiar land animals is, to me, a startling reminder of just how much my brain continues to underestimate their true scale. This is not to say we can't design an aquatic lifeform larger than a whale. Though a physically singular Leviathan could probably never surpass the length of the largest possible siphonophore colony, such a creature would very likely have a greater total mass, which is the most common benchmark for the somewhat nebulous concept of size. If we envision an ideal ocean ecosystem with unheard of amounts of consistently available food, we could have oceanic creatures several orders of magnitude larger than the largest whale species. These mega whales would be limited only by their need to circulate oxygen and their ability to move in the direction of food. They'd be true titans, and there's another trick we'll get to later that could make them even bigger. But the question is, would we be able to appreciate their vastness? Shortcomings in our ability to comprehend scale is one of the major obstacles in imagining the largest lifeform possible. Not a problem with physics, but a problem with our perception. The human sense of proportion struggles greatly to accept the size of giants, at least without something familiar to give us context. And even with a point of reference, our brains can be easily misled. For instance, these are not photos of miniature objects. They're photos of regular-sized objects next to a giant coin, created by two Norwegian artists. But even knowing this, even seeing the coin itself being built, my brain still struggles to accept that I'm not looking at something tiny. On the flip side, the sculptor Robert Therrien
Hold on, bro.
Overwhelming. We just have to adjust our perspective. And speaking of adjusting the universe, the truth is humans are pretty enormous already compared to most life on Earth. Scientifically, we're absolutely considered megafauna. And just think, there are billions upon billions of organisms living inside each of our bodies. To a microorganism, our skin and hair is an eldritch forest. Humans are, depending on one's perspective, already colossi. So while we might dream of space whales, titans that could overwhelm our minds the same way we could overwhelm a bacterium, regular whales are already cosmically overwhelming. We just have to adjust our perspective. And speaking
Are you
of adjusting
fucking serious?
perspectives, I want to show you something. Right now, I have a full second video all about
I
calculating.
don't give a shit. Whole fucking video. So you're telling me I was about to watch this whole fucking video from to say you just have to adjust your perception. Anything can be huge, just depends on how big you are. What the fuck are we talking about? You didn't create anything then. What the fuck? Genuinely. I like this. That's fire. I don't give a fuck about appreciating no fucking scale. I want him to show what the fuck I clicked the video for, nigga. Alright, bro. I guess, bro. Alright, this one. The entire Outlast story so far. Now, depending on how I feel, if I don't like this, if I don't like this, like it gets boring to me, I'm going straight to gaming. By the way, straight to gaming.
Welcome
But the
to,
entire Outlast story
well,
so far,
probably the
by gaming
longest
here.
and most comprehensive video I've done yet. This is going to be the most ambitious
Hold on. There we go.
project on the channel so far. We're going to look into the full timeline of this epic series of games, which includes Outlast 1, Whistleblower, Outlast 2, and we are going to fill in the gaps by looking at the Murkoff Account Comics 2. I will begin this plot as one long piece,
That nigga just
encompassing
clickbaited
the
me, bro.
entire video, but there will be chapters indicating when we've broken
just
from
fucking
the plot
clickbaited me.
to discuss certain characters.
Like he thinks
I
I'm
feel
pussy.
this is the best
Obviously.
model for explaining a game
He
series
thinks I'm a
in
bitch.
such detail. Strap in, grab a drink, and let's crack on and do this. Waylon Park, a married man with 2 kids, who is a freelance software consultant, sits in an empty server room located in an underground facility beneath the Mount Massive Asylum for the criminally insane, and he seems very nervous. He is actually in the process of sending a whistleblowing email to an investigative journalist named Miles Upshur. Waylon is concerned that his employers, the transnational company named the Murkoff Corporation,
Yeah, that's
are involved in illegal and inhumane activities.
nigga that
He's
shit.
overheard doctors talking about dream therapy going too deep. Waylon tells Miles that this needs to be exposed. Waylon's job was to maintain Murkoff's magnum opus, creation called the morphogenic engine. This engine allowed patients to enter lengthy and very lucid dream states. An entity would come to be birthed out of this machine, an entity called the Walrider. This is what the
entity?
experiments are centered around, and their research is aptly named Project Walrider. The Walrider is essentially a swarm of tiny nanomachines controlled by a subject who are themselves under the control of the morphogenic engine. A note here states that the Walrider itself is also referred to as Alp, Mara, or Schrat, a demonic creature of German origin. Some researchers believe there was a supernatural element behind the Walrider, and that it was a manifestation of this creature. Anyway, back into the story. Weyland is interrupted as he is needed at the morphogenic engine. He is just about manages to hit send on the email and makes his way to control room. Weyland, after fixing one of the cameras in the pod which holds the subject, is startled by an inmate named Eddie Gluskin. Gluskin is being put into the morphogenic engine so Murkoff can see if he is compatible, and therefore able to control the Walrider through his dream state. If he's not compatible, then he will suffer disfigurement and lesion.
Why did it open his fucking throat? Bro. One of my worst fears, bro, I do not want to go to the hospital and get these fucking tubes put in my throat. I remember I had to get a fucking tube up my fucking nose, bro. Oh my fucking god. That shit hurt. Boy, I was getting nose fucked. Like, why?
Such is the brutal nature of the engine. We can see that Gluskin isn't compatible as these lesions and scarring start to show up straight away. Weyland makes his way back to the server room, and waiting for him is Jeremy Blair. He's Weyland's boss and is the VP for Global Development at Murkoff. He also runs Mount Massive Asylum, and in addition to that, he oversees Project Walrider 2. Blair has found Weyland's email and has several security guards attack Weyland and detain him as an inmate of Mount Massive Asylum. He makes up an elaborate lie stating that Weyland resigned due to mental illness. But why were they so concerned so as to go to the trouble of doing this? You see, Murkoff have a long, detailed history of criminal, unethical, and immoral practices. Here's a short history. In 1938, Murkoff were exposed for selling diphosphine gas to German forces. This was for the German forces to use it as a poison gas in artillery shells during World War I. This gas was so potent that it would destroy regular gas mask filters. Murkoff also had a hand in conducting group experiments for the CIA program named MKUltra, a top-secret mind control experiment which focused on using drugs and other procedures for the end goal of mind control and interrogation purposes. These experiments were being carried out at Mount Massive, amongst other places. Murkoff would put unwilling individuals through trials of sorts during the Cold War, but in the late 60s, Mount Massive is shut down due to some scientists being murdered by an inmate. A few years later, under the orders of CIA Director Richard Helms, all MKUltra files are destroyed, basically burying Murkoff's involvement in MKUltra. And then years later, in 2009, Mount Massive was reopened under the guise of a charitable organization named Murkoff Psychiatric Care, and over the next few years, Murkoff continued their experiments in secret, and with a steady stream of inmates at their disposal, Murkoff stood to rake in great profits. This leads us back to the present day.
The story.
Weyland comes round later on, and he is being subjected to morphogenic therapy, a form of psychological torture. The man subjecting him to the torture is called away, as it's revealed that an inmate named Billy Hope has managed what is referred to as lateral ascension with the project. Basically, it means that he's compatible with the engine and is able to control the Walrider, which in turn has a significant impact on what comes next.
Yeah.
Weyland gets free from his restraints and sees the Walrider attacking inmates. The entire facility shuts down and all hell breaks loose due to the Walrider breaking loose.
So the inmate started controlling the Walrider, and the Walrider started killing people and escaped with the inmate, right?
Picking up a camcorder with the aim of capturing everything on film in order to try and take down Murkoff,
On some Blair Witch shit.
escapes his cell. However, it is not long before he comes face to face with the Walrider himself, who tries to attack him, but Weyland escapes and runs into a number of deformed inmates. These inmates with significant deformities are called variants. They're the ones who have been subjected to the effects of the morphogenic engine, but were basically incompatible. Rejects, if you like. He overhears a guard and an employee talking about a radio in the prison which will allow them to call for help. Weyland decides that he needs to get to that radio. As Wayland continues on, he finds that some variants are calm and just want to be left alone, but some are hostile towards him. Very hostile and extremely disturbed. Which brings us on to Frank Manera. Frank is a cannibal, a wiry man. He is described as having lost 73 pounds in weight after he was subjected to the morphogenic engine. Nothing is really known about his background, but I'm guessing it has something to do with his cannibalistic quirks. Anyway, Wayland walks through a kitchen and is shocked to witness Frank having his dinner, so to speak, and after sneaking around him and also after a chase, Wayland gets to relative safety, but this is only for a moment as Frank bursts through the door. He shoves Wayland into a furnace, but again, Wayland manages to get free, eventually escaping and seeing the back of Frank for good. However, Wayland has to get through a foggy courtyard. Wayland is forced to find an alternate way into a building after encountering a couple of inmates known only as the Twins. Wayland eventually makes it to the radio, but he is ambushed by Jeremy Blair, who proceeds to smash up the radio and attacks Wayland. Out of nowhere, a terrifying growl belonging to a huge variant inmate named Chris Walker. Let's pause really quick and talk about Chris Walker and how he ended up at Mount Massive. Years ago, Chris started out his career as a military policeman in the US Army. He toured Afghanistan, but like many military personnel on those tours, he developed PTSD.
Hold on, bro. This is pissing me off. I feel like it's this right here. Shit.
Upon his return home to the United States, he was committed to Spindle Top Psychotherapy Clinic in Hatton, Texas. The clinic was owned by none other than the Murkoff Corporation as part of their Research Through Charity initiative. He was subjected to therapy by a Dr. Claymore, who used Arabic culture in his therapy in order for them to try and overcome their trauma. This backfired, as they all seemed to suffer delusions of an Akkadian demigod named Apkallu. Problem is, the therapy these veterans were subjected to actually had a negative effect in that their psychological wounds would close at first, but then they would reopen even wider. Chris was one of the ones subjected to this therapy. Either way, Chris would get better and start working for Murkoff as a surveillance officer, overlooking therapy sessions. Due to his size and strength, he was nicknamed Strong Fat by colleagues, a nickname which he didn't really like at all. At some point, Chris witnessed inmates in a trance during a therapy session, and they mentioned Apkallu, and something triggered inside Chris, and he snapped, killing 3 inmates. But he didn't just kill them, he literally tore them limb from limb. Due to Murkoff owning the clinic and not wanting the authorities to know what happened, they sent their litigation, or their legal team, to speak with Dr. Claymore, a pair of Murkoff litigation agents named Paul Marion and Pauline Glick, aptly nicknamed the Pauls. They tried to speak to Claymore, but as he wasn't working directly for Murkoff, he wouldn't really give them any information. Looking for a way around it, they question Chris, assuming him to just be an employee, and he misleads them. What the Pauls don't know, though, is that after their meeting with Dr. Claymore, Chris ends up murdering Dr. Claymore too, then he destroyed the CCTV equipment and fled. Realizing that Chris is responsible for the murders, the Pauls went to Chris's home. The Pauls found the victims' heads in boxes, and these murders were dubbed the Hatbox Murders. They find a stuffed animal from his childhood, a pig. Chris arrived carrying the head of Dr. Claymore in a box and saw the agents holding his stuffed animal. He went crazy and a fight broke out. Chris was shot in the face by Pauline, but even that didn't stop him. He threw Pauline out of the window.
Damn, that nigga's strong
In
as
the end,
shit.
she had to take him down by driving straight at him in her car, finally knocking him out.
Knocking
Careful
him
not to put
out?
Blame, as Chris was a
Why is he
Murkoff
not
employee,
dead?
deflected it and pinned the blame on another patient named Omar Abdul Malik. Due to them trying to cover up what happened with Chris Walker, they committed him to Mount Massive and experimented on him. Now, due to the state of his mind, Chris tore the skin from his forehead. This was due to the belief that he had a third eye which would help him see things more clearly. He also tore the skin from his lips and his nose due to having developed a hatred for the damage the morphogenic engine experiments had done to his face. He would be restrained in response to the self-harming, which explains why he has chains on his wrists. Anyway, that is the backstory of Chris Walker, so let's get back into the story. Chris chases Wayland into a tool shed, but on the way, Wayland sees a man known as Father Martin Archimbold painting a message onto the wall in blood. Father is said in quotation marks as he isn't a real priest. Father Martin, likely in his 60s, is an inmate of Mount Massive Asylum who suffers from dementia, delusions, and schizoaffective disorder. His symptoms eased when participating in the asylum's art therapy program, or more specifically, finger painting. His therapist, Dr. Neil Wolfram, said that he had made great strides, but he was dismayed to find out that Murkoff were pulling the program. As Dr. Wolfram expected and feared, Archibald's symptoms worsened and he regressed, suffering from delusions of a higher calling. Basically, he worshipped the Walrider and he saw himself as a prophet of sorts. Wayland moves on and ends up in the vocational block, and after evading yet more variants, Wayland comes face to face with Eddie Gluskin, the test subject from before. He's now noticeably scarred from the effects of the morphogenic engine. Wayland jumps down an elevator shaft while escaping Gluskin and hurts his leg. The previous variant referenced Gluskin as the Groom, and we're about to find out why. Gluskin mutilates male inmates, removing their, parts, and tries to make them into a bride before killing them. Gluskin's backstory, although slightly vague in its detail, is actually kind of
Nigga deadass can't get no pussy, so he's turning niggas into girls.
sad. He was abused by his father and uncle as a kid, who would take pictures of the abuse. Apparently Gluskin didn't know it was wrong, but only knew that it hurt him. This unresolved trauma led to Gluskin becoming a serial killer who targeted women, who was eventually incarcerated in Mount Massive Asylum. Anyway, Gluskin captures Wayland after he tried to hide in a locker and drags him to his workshop and sprays a substance into the locker, making him pass out. After receiving Wayland Park's whistleblowing email, Miles Upshur now arrives at Mount Massive Asylum with his camcorder in hand, ready to capture evidence of what is going on there. Miles is already aware of the history of Mount Massive and the controversies surrounding the Murkoff Corporation. You see, from looking at the beta version of the whistleblower email in an unused cutscene, Miles was an investigative reporter who got fired from his previous job for posting sensitive information about the Afghanistan conflict. Since then, Miles has been freelance and self-employed. Miles enters the asylum through a window. Given that the riot and the variant uprising happened only a few hours earlier, the place is a mess. Miles finds the leader of a security team called Murkoff Hardline Security impaled on a pike. He has just enough breath to him to get out, as the variants have escaped. Miles meets Chris Walker, who throws him out of a window, making him pass out. Interestingly, Chris repeats the same phrase as when he saw the Pauls holding his toy. Little pig. Miles comes to and Father Martin is standing over him and calls Miles an apostle. Father Martin has locked the main doors for the exit, but Father Martin has turned off the power, meaning that Miles has to go down to the basement and turn it back on again. He makes it back to the control room, but Father Martin injects him with a sedative. Turning Miles' attention to the monitors, Father Martin tells him that he has so much yet to witness and makes him watch the Walrider going ham and tearing into and decimating an entire squad of Murkoff Hardline security staff.
Damn.
Miles passes out once again and Father Martin puts him in a padded cell somewhere deep in the asylum.
Bro,
This is actually Father Martin.
I did not know it was actual paranormal shit or supernatural shit in these games. I thought it was all just mind psychological warfare shit.
Cell, indicated by the rest in peace and crosses written on the walls. Miles meets the unmistakable twins, the cannibals who briefly discuss which part of Miles they want to eat first, until they reveal that Father Martin has asked them not to touch him. It seems that Father Martin has a lot of influence over the variants. Miles escapes the cell block, and after more meetings with Chris Walker in the sewers, he manages to make it to the male ward where he's chased by some inmates. A friendly voice tells him to get into the dumbwaiter, but Miles discovers that this person isn't really very friendly at all.
Oh my god.
Meet Dr. Richard Traeger.
Can't trust none of these
Way
ugly
back
niggas.
when, Dr. Richard Traeger was a Murkoff executive. He was a well-dressed man with medium-length hair, but how did he end up as what seems to be a heavily scarred inmate and, what's more, a failed experiment of the morphogenic engine? Well, Traeger was the head of business development at the asylum. He was good friends with Jeremy Blair, indicated by this note which states that they played golf together. Traeger at some point sexually assaulted another Murkoff employee named Michelle Haas, and Michelle became pregnant. She complained anonymously to the HR department about it, and along came the hotshot litigation duo, Pauline Glick and Paul Marion. They go and speak to Traeger to find out which department the allegations came from, and he naturally puts on a front, smiling, joking around with them and telling them they should be on Team Rick. He debunks the claims and insists they didn't come from his department. Marion thinks he's dirty, so Glick arranges to meet him for a dinner. When back at his house, Traeger offers Glick a line of cocaine, which she refuses.
Fuck
Traeger
no.
then proceeds to spike her drink with Rohypnol, which
Oh.
she notices, and she forces him to drink it, making him pass out. The Pauls eventually confront Michelle Haas about the assault, and she confesses to them that Traeger did it and got her pregnant. Traeger then forced her to either get an abortion or he would fire her. Paul Marion prepared a severance package in true litigation style.
Shit is sick.
In exchange, Michelle would stay silent about it. Michelle took the deal, but Traeger stormed into the room. Grabbing scissors, he stabbed Michelle in the stomach multiple times. Don't worry, Michelle wasn't actually pregnant, but we'll get to that later on in the video. Glick grabbed Traeger by the neck and his hair got trapped in a paper shredder, tearing off part of his scalp, which is
Shit.
why he looks like an aged monk. Traeger was taken as an inmate of the asylum and used as a test subject for the engine. Jeremy Blair, despite being Traeger's friend, seemed to really enjoy this. So Traeger became a surgeon during the incident, sadistically cutting up staff members and operating on people. This extends to Miles as he hits him, disorienting him, and proceeds to wheel him to a room where he talks of how much he dislikes Father Martin. Traeger cuts off Miles' fingers and leaves the room. Miles regains his composure and his fingers and manages to sneak around Traeger,
His fingers?
grab a key for the elevator and make himself some
And
Traeger
keep
juice.
that shit.
Miles sees the exit. Freedom. Well, not really. Miles has to cross the pitch black courtyard and comes face to face with the Walrider, which bizarrely chooses not to attack him. It's not long before Miles is chased by Chris Walker again, but he manages to make it to the female ward.
Man, if you're running
After
from his
losing video
fat
camera after a
ass.
fall, Miles goes to retrieve it and manages to make it to the upper floors. He enters a sort of movie theater which plays an exit interview for
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Motherfuckers would clown on a nigga for going back to get his camera after it failed and not just running away. Gang, if the sole reason you came into a spot and you knew what the fuck was what could happen to you, bro, and you still went in there with the camera to record everything, get the evidence, and then dip, and that camera fell, I'm not gonna lie, any nigga would go, well, most motherfuckers would go retrieve that shit, bro. Because you did not come in there for no fucking reason. Just get your ass beat and then get nothing out of it, bro. It like, obviously he feels like his life is worth less than the fucking evidence, bro. So, hey.
to Rudolf Wernicke, the madman behind the morphogenic engine. He states in this interview that the engine attaches to insanity, that only someone who has witnessed enough horror and torment is capable of activating the engine. The interviewer asks if there's an element of the supernatural behind the Walrider, and Wernicke replies that there is not. Dr. Wernicke dies shortly after this interview. Apparently, his death certificate is here. The truth of the
Apparently.
matter, however, is that Dr. Wernicke is very much alive, but hang tight, we'll discuss him shortly.
Right,
Miles
yes, sir.
gets to the chapel and sees Father Martin has set himself on fire on a cross, such as his commitment and dedication to the Walrider. Miles
Alright.
takes an elevator down to the depths of the asylum where he discovers a series of tunnels. It's clear that the Walrider has had a pretty good time down here as Miles finds corpses everywhere. He eventually gets chased by the Walrider himself, but runs straight into Chris Walker.
Oh my god,
His
it's
life
like a
is
Chris
prematurely
Walker,
ended
bro.
By the Walrider, who slams him straight into a steel grate.
Oh shit.
A door is opened, and inside a sealed-off room sits a fragile and very old Dr. Wernicke. Right, so as promised, let's discuss Wernicke. Dr. Rudolf Wernicke was born in Germany in 1918. He collaborated with
This
Alan
nigga's
Turing on the paper,
90.
and this brought Wernicke great success and renown in the scientific community. He helped Nazi Germany at some point during the war effort, but he was brought to the US under Operation Paperclip, an operation which would see prominent German or Austrian scientists, or skilled people in general, come to the US in an attempt to take those assets away from potential enemies. He worked in Los Alamos, which, as we know, is where lots of government work took place. Truth of the matter is that Wernicke was likely carrying out research as part of MK Ultra, conducting mind control experiments on subjects during the Cold War. This is where I believe the Outlast trials were conducted, but we'll find out more about that when the next game finally releases. He went on to retire and spend his time in New Mexico, where he pursued photography. He wasn't married and didn't have children, and eventually came out of retirement and chose to pursue charitable work for Murkoff at Mount Massive Asylum. But this was all a guise for Wernicke to install his morphogenic engine in the bowels of the asylum and subject the inmates of Mount Massive to horrific experiments. To keep his involvement secret and confine him to the asylum to continue his work, Wernicke was pronounced dead and the death certificate was fabricated by Murkoff. He was brought in order to study human nanotechnology. Wernicke and his team managed to eventually produce specific molecules in order to create the entity known as the Walrider. Wernicke mentions to Miles that a patient named Billy Hope was what's known as a lucid dreamer, where he is able to control what happens in his dream state. That, coupled with the horrors, trauma, and madness he's experienced in his life, made him a perfect fit for the engine. Billy was able to control the Walrider. Billy, in some sick, twisted way, views Wernicke as his father and chooses to keep Wernicke alive. But Wernicke mentions his regret and that they were foolish to think they could master such a powerful creation. He insists that Billy must die and instructs Miles to turn off his life support, as this will destroy the Walrider. Miles eventually sees Billy, all hooked up to the machine, basically dead, hanging on by a thread, only being kept alive by the engine. Miles turns off the life support but is viciously attacked by the Walrider, which doesn't fully kill him. Miles hobbles out with his video evidence of what went on, but is greeted by a squad of Murkoff security forces and Wernicke. Thinking that the Walrider is now dead and likely seeing the camera in his hand and knowing that Miles is a witness to the atrocities of the asylum, Miles is gunned down. He is killed. But in one twist in the tale, Wernicke realizes that Miles has been possessed by the Walrider, and Miles attacks and mauls the security team, killing them all, presumably killing Wernicke too.
You have become the host. What is that thing?
In the meantime, Weyland wakes up from his slumber and finds Gluskin, well, doing Gluskin things. He is saved by an inmate in the nick of time and attempts to get out using a key. He can't move very fast due to his injured leg, and Gluskin inevitably catches up to him, attempting to hang him up in the rafters just like the countless other victims. But this backfires. Gluskin loses control of the rope and gets impaled on a spike. Good riddance. Weyland makes his way to the exit and sees the burning chapel.
Oh my fucking god.
And the very dead Traeger by the elevators. He sees none other than Jeremy Blair waiting by the door, heavily injured, but with just enough strength to stab Weyland in the stomach.
Why?
Rider Miles shows
You're
up,
dead!
however, like the hero he is, and literally tears Jeremy to shreds. Also, good riddance. Weyland makes it to Miles's jeep and sees Miles's body engulfed by the nano swarm of the Walrider, which bizarrely seems to help Weyland by pushing the jeep through the gates. Obviously, there's still some part of Miles in there that wants the truth to get out. Weyland eventually meets up with a man named Simon Peacock, an ex-Murkoff employee who Murkoff consider dangerous, as he himself leaked sensitive material from the company. Peacock was also experimented on at Murkoff, and as a result developed some supernatural abilities of his own. He founded the site ViraLeaks. He's kind of a nod to Julian
What's
Assange,
his powers?
where Weyland will be uploading all the evidence to. Peacock tells Weyland that if he uploads the file containing the evidence, he'll be running from Murkoff for the rest of his life. Weyland uploads the file anyway. Simon dies at some point, but not completely. We'll find out more later on.
Aftermath.
In the aftermath, the Pauls arrive at Mount Massive to assess the damage and the cleanup job needed in order to stop this getting out. The Pauls walk in and see pieces of Jeremy Blair everywhere. Paul Marion finds that all the video drives were wiped, likely by Jeremy Blair. Pauline Glick seems to be happy about this, as it means, as she puts it, an easier cleanup. Now this is where it gets slightly crazy. Whilst they are investigating the discovery of Miles's Jeep, the Pauls get a report of Miles Upsher's bank account being accessed from a cell tower 80 miles from Mount Massive.
Fuck is Billy.
This report would lead them to the most sensitive patient at Mount Massive Asylum,
Billy!
80 miles away from there. It's Billy Hope. You see, even though Billy was killed by Miles, the Walrider still possessed some part of Billy within it. Billy went home to see his mother Tiffany. The Walrider, being a collection of nanites, allowed Billy to appear to his mother as human in some way. Naturally, the Pauls arrive not long afterwards and question Tiffany. They ask her if she knows Miles Upsher, but she says she doesn't. Pauline makes mentions of the fact that Tiffany never once visited her son at Mount Massive, and she replies that it wasn't allowed, that it would be bad for his treatment. The truth is actually a lot worse. You see, a note in the game states that Murkoff gave Tiffany a substantial amount of money. Essentially, she sold her son to Murkoff, and Murkoff told Billy that his mother had a heart attack. Anyway, the Pauls ask her how she got the money to buy some Swarovski figurines, and she kicks them out.
He probably gonna
looks
kill
back
him.
and sees something on top of the trailer, but can't make it out, and they leave. But they leave a Murkoff officer there to stake out Tiffany's home. Whilst the agent was staking out the place, the Pauls decided to go on the offensive. They smeared Wayland Park's name.
Damn, but you got hella money, but you stay in a trailer park. How you gonna sell your son and you ain't got no money? You ain't got no motherfucking house. You just in a trailer. You gonna sell your son for a stack, but it ain't even a good stack, bitch. You in a trailer park still. Trailer park trash.
Name. They essentially painted him as a weirdo, a conspiracy theorist, and someone who is perverted, racist, and delusional. Pauline receives a call from the agent. It seems that Tiffany's boyfriend has arrived at the trailer. He accuses her of seeing another man, and after an argument, he hits her and goes back to his car. He drives away,
Yeah,
but
he
he's
finna
torn
die
apart by
again.
Billy the Wall Rider. Seeing a crash, the agent goes to check it out, and, well, it doesn't really go well for him either. He tells Pauline it's the Wall Rider and gets absolutely decimated. Billy appears to his mother and smashes all of her expensive statues, telling her he will take care of her. Murkoff then pulled out all the stops in order to contain the Wall Rider. The Pauls approach Tiffany. Turns out the story of Billy Hope is even worse than imagined. Pauline reveals that Billy Hope was never mentally ill. He was just a lucid dreamer. She sold her son to Murkoff so she could buy a few crystal figurines. Out of nowhere, Billy tears his mother to shreds, knowing this, and the Pauls
Fucking
escape
nobody was
the
gonna do that
trailer.
shit.
They think they've killed it, but it turns out that the Wall Rider has now just possessed a colony of ants. It's basically switched hosts. With that seemingly settled, the Pauls go on to investigate the residents of Wayland Park. To the Pauls' abject disappointment, the house had been burnt down. Paul Marion sees a homeless man there, but thinks absolutely nothing of it.
He's probably
Afterwards, they
possessed by
arrive
Wall
in
Rider now.
DC at Miles Upsher's residence. Bizarrely, his neighbour says that she saw him there the night before, but she says it's weird as her dogs wouldn't stop barking at him and they usually love him. They both note that the place is swarming with none other than ants. Both of the Pauls strip off outside to get rid of the ants, but Paul Marion spots the same homeless man from in Colorado and chases him. The man turns around and it's none other than Simon Peacock. He asks Paul Marion what his name is, but he doesn't give it to him. Peacock tells Marion that he seems to have something other Murkoff employees don't. Shame. Marion knows what he's doing is wrong, the only thing is he has no choice. Let's discover why.
Why does he have no choice?
You see, Paul Marion lost his wife to an illness, and his 15-year-old daughter Alice
Ah,
has that same illness.
Yeah.
Marion took a job with Murkoff because they have an experimental treatment for this rare disease. You see, Alice needs gene therapy transfusions, which, under Marion's Murkoff employee benefits, will save him $65,000 in medical bills, leaving him with only $3,000 to pay himself. Anyways, Peacock tells Marion that Mount Massive was just a pebble in a pond, an experiment on individuals. He points to some coordinates and tells him that is where the real sickness spreads. He tells Marion that he needs somebody inside Murkoff to help him. Peacock shoves a block of styrofoam into Marion's mouth and takes an impression of his teeth so he can find out his identity. Glick turns up and shoots Peacock multiple times, but strangely it doesn't affect him. Remember I mentioned there was something supernatural about Simon Peacock? Well, here it is.
Wait.
Simon Peacock is dead. Likely sometime after the Wayland Park leak, but we
Nigga
don't know
zombie!
how or when. Peacock gets away and the Pauls have Miles' house fumigated to kill the ants. But all that's left is black powder, and no evidence that could lead them to Peacock, Park, or Miles Upshur. The trail was dead, the ants had basically chewed everything to mush. Glick seems happy though, nothing can trace anything back to Mount Massive. Marion shows Glick the coordinates
that's
Peacock
burned,
gave
bro. I
him,
need my
but she
glass.
says to leave it. The coordinates themselves lead to the Havasupai Reservation, 80 miles northwest of Flagstaff in Arizona.
Don't fucking
Near
look
to those
at me.
coordinates, a young pregnant woman and a man seem to be running away from something. The man states that every step they take, the less power he has got. Back at Paul Marion's house, Alice sees a man messing with their mailbox. It's Simon Peacock. Marion confronts him, but he runs off. Peacock left the same coordinates again, but this time stated that Alice, his daughter, is connected somehow. Marion flies to Arizona despite Glick telling him not to. He rents an SUV and drives out to the coordinates, and all of a sudden, a bright light appears along with a deafening sound, and Marion is somehow back in hospital the night his wife died. All of a sudden, he snaps out of whatever trance he was in as he's been
Yeah.
attacked by the man and woman who were escaping before. A fight breaks out and the man stabs Marion in the arm, so Marion kills the guy, and the pregnant girl runs off. Marion keeps seeing visions of his dead wife, but is eventually picked up by a family who take him to the hospital. Glick turns up. She obviously knows about the coordinates and what's going on there. She tells Marion that the pregnant girl is at the same
Fat ass butt, boy. Shit, nigga thick.
hospital as them. Scans reveal lesions on the girl's brain, similar to the ones on inmates' brains in Mount Massive. They nicknamed this girl Jane Doe, as they didn't know who on earth she was. Marion notices a tattoo on the girl's chest which references Ezekiel. All of a sudden, she starts babbling and begins fitting. Glick tells Marion to go get the doctor, and while she is gone, She kills the young girl. They leave, and Marion has no idea that Glick killed the girl. He just assumes that she died due to a fit.
What?
Later that evening, Marion returns home. His daughter is gone, and one of her fingers lays on the floor. A message is written on the wall, which states, "You work for us now." Glick stayed in Arizona to find the body that Marion left in the desert. It was gone, and a chilling reveal tells us that the body was taken by someone.
Wait, what? They just killed this nigga's daughter? Or did they just take her? Well, I'm sure they just took her.
Marion returns home. His daughter is gone, and one of her fingers lays on the floor. A message is written on the wall, which states, "You work for us now."
Bro.
Glick stayed in Arizona to find the body that Marion left in the desert. It was gone, and a chilling reveal tells us that the body was taken by someone.
Fuck no.
Over the next week or so, a local reporter named Lynn Langerman and her cameraman and husband Blake go to the hospital to investigate the death and apparent suicide of the pregnant Jane Doe. Paul Marion was meant to prevent them both from snooping around, but he failed. There's a reason why, but we'll get to it. Because not long after, Lynn and Blake charter a helicopter to fly them out to the Sonoran Desert in Arizona. Blake and Lynn are childhood sweethearts who went to Catholic school St. Sybil together. Blake is on the helicopter and has fallen asleep. He has a dream in which a young girl is calling out his name, and he wakes up. Lynn, his wife, seems pretty peeved as Blake was calling out another woman's name in his sleep. He reveals that he was dreaming about a girl called Jessica Gray, a close friend of them both, who they haven't thought of or spoken of for years.
He was fucking her. Jessica Gray was getting fucked. There's no way.
They are filming their intro, and all of a sudden, the same bright white light and deafening noise which Paul Marion saw downs the helicopter, sending them crashing down into the mountains, miles from anywhere. Blake comes to after being thrown from the helicopter, only to find that Lynn and the pilot are gone. He soon finds the pilot, but he's not really in a talking mood at all. He's been skinned and hung up on a tree. Blake descends into the mountain and sees a clock tower in the distance, indicating that there must be a town there, so he aims to get there to find help. He sees a bunch of armed people near some houses who disappear into the trees, and eventually encounters a tall woman who tries to kill him. It appears that both Blake and Lynn are in grave danger. This village appears to be inhabited by some murderous cult. Blake must find Lynn, and they need to escape, fast. As he approaches the church, Blake is again stunned by the loud sound and the flash of bright light. And as he approaches the church, he hears a man preaching, and he mentions Lynn's name. This man is Sullivan Noth, or Papa Noth, as he's known to his
Damn,
followers.
boy. They got that fucking gut on him. Fat ass boy, nigga named Sullivan Papa North. Fat ass. Nigga about to, oh my god, bro, that nigga pregnant.
Let's take a break and look at the cult and how they actually arrived in this place.
Just
You
that
see, Noth
lean
used to
good.
be a shoe salesman in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Nah, it ain't
He was a
that
man who
lean
was
good.
heavily in
Niggas who be having lean gut still be skinny, bro. They just have a fat ass gut. That nigga just eat. That's all he do. Fucking glutton.
debt, was about to lose his house, and one day he turned to a local evangelical radio station which was discussing faith. He heard a preacher on there and found himself disagreeing with the sin regarding extramarital sex and fornication. Before long, Noth would give up the enviable dream of being a shoe salesman and would start preaching himself. He claimed to hear a message hidden in the static of the radio station which told him that God was unhappy with the churches in the world and that God needs a brave new prophet to carry his message. He preached on the streets, and to be fair to him, he had the charisma to drum up numerous followers who would become loyal to him, donating money and possessions. A rich lady called Lydia Dagan allowed the cult to live on her ranch. He came up with a name for his cult, and he called it the Testament of the New Ezekiel, with Noth referring to himself as the modern day Ezekiel, and wrote the Gospel of Noth. It was at this point that the cult became more fanatical. Noth would encourage the women of the cult to breed regularly, and Noth, of course, partook in this himself.
Yeah, like,
Decided that he wanted to deliver every child himself too. Trouble was
like, that's the thing about these cults, bro. They're always made by motherfuckers who are doing it for themselves, gang. Obviously, they're not right in the head, but they're always doing it for them fucking selves. No person in the cult or who made a cult is doing it because they are actually trying to do something for some people. They're just doing it. And some people don't like being called cults when that is what they are. Like, bro, and then of course it always comes down to the nigga is fucking the women in the cult, and the women are like, "Yeah, he's the chosen one. I want his divine dick in me." Like, fuck. Why are they always like just there? There's always a breeding thing. Like they always have to breed. It's every single cult I've seen. The women are like, the women have to breed in the cult, and they're getting fucked by the nigga who made the cult. Like, what the fuck?
Coming though is
And the nigga is letting the nigga that made the call is letting the nigga that made the call is letting the girls get fucked by the other niggas in the call because it's like like a trying to feed the other niggas lust too. Like, ew, it's so sick, bro.
due to the excessive home births. The police got wind of this and raided the ranch due to safety concerns. Lo and behold, dead bodies were found on the estate. Many followers were arrested, but what's left of them, including Noth, ended up journeying to hide in the mountains. Noth then took inspiration from Moses and Abraham and climbed to the top of a mountain, naked because, well, why not? And he claimed to have received a message from God, who told him to slit open his eyeball. As a result, he saw a vision of his future church. Given that they had lost everything, they decided it was time to seclude themselves and build up again from scratch. In 1971, they eventually found somewhere to settle and build their village, but just one problem. The area was inhabited by tribes, namely the Pueblos, Jicarilla, Mescalero, and Navajo tribes. They did what any murderous cult would do and fought them off the land, taking it for themselves. The town was named Temple Gate.
Bro,
and the purpose of it was for
you're
it to
not telling me these motherfuckers genuinely killed all those tribes, bro. That makes no fucking sense. Like, come on now. All the tribes were just killed off by a fucking cult. Suck my dick.
following
Suck
their
my
morons to wait there
backhand.
for the end times. The messages Noth hears get more disturbing as time goes on and are essentially the catalyst for the cult being as messed up as it is. These are that the Antichrist will be born out of his own flock, killing children is okay.
If you're just now joining, we're watching the entire Outlast story so far. If you don't want to get spoiled, I understand, but yeah, we're watching the entire Outlast story so far. I think I'm gonna play Outlast after this. I'm gonna play this Ghost game that I didn't finish. But right now they're talking about a fucking cult and a fat nigga. So
Incest is okay, providing the mother of the child is
Huh?
dead, and Noth can sleep with whomever he wishes.
incest is what?
Will be born out of his own flock, killing children is okay. Incest is okay, providing the mother
What
of the
the
child
fuck?
is dead, and Noth can
What do you
sleep
mean
with whomever he
incest is
wishes.
okay?
Followers would get more and more deranged as time went on too, regularly sacrificing their own children to Noth's vision of the Antichrist being birthed.
Some sick shit.
Anyway, jumping back into the story, it isn't long before Blake finds Lynn. She escapes out of an upstairs window of the church and Blake and her reunite, but she complains of stomach pains. Blake hears them talking about Lynn being pregnant, but she denies it.
Damn! They fucked his wife! The cult fucked his wife, gang. There's no way. Either that, or she was pregnant before they got here.
Her and Blake haven't had sex in months, so it can't possibly be true.
Oh my! Yeah. Either they fucked his wife, she cheated on a nigga, or the nigga got ghost seen.
They continue down a path to try and escape. They are cornered by a couple of cultists, though, who intend to kidnap Lynn again and, I'm assuming, kill Blake. Before they can do that, though, a new group covered in dirt and twigs show up and kill the cultists. One of them sits on Blake to stop him escaping or helping Lynn, and their apparent leader, a person with blonde hair, comes over to him and licks his face. They hit Blake over the head, dizzying him, and they kidnap Lynn and drag her away. What on earth is going on here?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that by one massive stroke of bad luck, Lynn and Blake, well, mainly Lynn, has now become a pawn in a violent and bloody war between two sides, the cultists and the heretics.
Oh,
Let's
shit.
discuss the heretics briefly and then we'll jump back in. Led by the unmistakable Val, the heretics are a satanic group at war with Noth's cult. Val was actually a member of the cult but decided to leave after being consumed with lustful dreams of killing. We find a note from Val's journal where Val feels the dreams are a message, but the message is nothing holy. Val arranged to meet with other cultists who had similar dreams.
More children dead. Noth says there is no sin in such infanticide, as all soldiers are in God's army. Martyrs fallen on the field in defiance of the archfiend. All those babies with slit throats and charred flesh will be waiting immaculate for us in paradise. Papa Noth also says that our sins find us in our own dreams. Our sins find us in our dreams, but my dreams are nothing but the murder of my children. And I wake up laughing and aroused, and often wet with the involuntary lust of sleep. Oh my god, this bitch freaky. I woke this morning thinking I was wetted with the blood of a child's throat, but it's a wetness of my own making. Nigga, what? The others are having similar dreams. We have dug a tunnels that we can. Yeah, y'all niggas nasty, bro.
To them. These
Y'all niggas
meetings
sick.
caused the cult of Noth to be split in two, and they went to live in the nearby mines. The members, after living in and around the mines for so long, had basically gone so insane to the point of now being like animals, covering themselves in mud and sticks and moving around like marsupials, and their language appeared to be broken English. Their main goal was the polar opposite to Noth's. They wanted the Antichrist to be birthed. This was all born out of Val's desire for chaos and destruction, and Val felt that the birth would bring out exactly that. The heretics and the cult, given that they have such differing views, are embroiled in an all-out war. With their assumptions that Lynn is pregnant, this gives them their motive for kidnapping Lynn. But yeah, let's jump back in. Blake stumbles down the path and, seeing double, is discovered by a man named Ethan, who takes Blake to his cabin and offers him a place to sleep in order to recharge his energy. Ethan's story is a very sad one. Due to Noth's messed up rule that he got to sleep with anyone he wishes, Ethan's young daughter Anna Lee was one of those poor victims.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Like, gang, that's so sick. These fucking cults, they just most of these cults are made by niggas who are just so lustful that they just want to fuck anything, bro. Like, they're all just nasty and sick.
Fell
gang.
pregnant, and Ethan sent her to leave Temple Gate with someone else,
It's
as he knew
fucked,
full well that if she
honestly.
was pregnant with what Noth believed to be the Antichrist, the Noth would kill her and the baby inside her. Yep, that's right, Ethan's daughter was the Jane Doe that Pauline Glick murdered in the hospital. Blake makes mention of the girl, being that's the reason why they're there in the first place, and Ethan perks up and asks Blake if she is okay. Blake knows that the girl is dead, but he can't bear to break Ethan's heart and lies to him and tells him that she is fine. Blake finally gets some rest. He has a dream that he's back in high school with Jessica again. He awakens though, and he finds Ethan's home being smashed to pieces by the tall woman from before. The woman is demanding to know where Blake is, but Ethan, being the nice man that he is, doesn't give Blake up, but Ethan is killed for his troubles. Blake leaves and pushes on in search of Lynn, but also seems to be mentally unraveling. He comes across another church. Inside, he finds another man named Josiah, who has been strapped to a wheel with his eyes gouged out and the word Judas carved into his chest. Josiah begs Blake to kill him, but Noth and a few of his goons turn up, so Blake hides in the confessional booth. They drag Josiah's wife Mary into the church and torture her, as Noth is looking for Lynn too. Josiah mentions that they took Lynn into the mines. Blake starts his journey into
Trying
the
to
mines,
fuck his
but
wife.
is chased into the tall woman's territory. Her name is Marta, and she's not happy. But let's talk about Marta for a second.
Marta!
Was kind of an enforcer for the cult, whom all the other
Which
cult
cult?
members were terrified of.
Oh, well.
It seems from documents in the game that Noth knew Marta while she was growing up, and he potentially groomed her.
Yeah.
Other documents show that she felt guilty for killing people, but Noth justified it to her. He told her that even though it was sin in the eyes of God, it basically needed to be done to protect God's plan. Blake eventually manages to escape from her, and after a swift boot to the face, he continues on to the mine. Blake's hallucinations start to occur more regularly now, becoming increasingly more disturbing in their nature, and he's being plagued by a creature of some sort, and these visions all seem to feature Jessica, the young girl whom Blake was friends with in high school. We'll get to that a bit later on. He snaps out of it, and at some point he can see the mines in the distance. Not far now, all that Blake has to do is cross a narrow beam in order to get there. But the inevitable happens, and it would never be that easy. A swarm of, Blake says, locusts, but they definitely look more like dragonflies. Well, they swarm Blake and he falls from the beam into the forest below. Turns out this is probably the worst thing that could have happened, as Blake is now in the territory of the people known as the Scald. A bit of background on the Scald. The Scald were cultists loyal to Noth who used to live in Templegate themselves, but with all the unprotected sex going on in Templegate, sexually transmitted diseases were rife and spread like wildfire. With a lot of the people in the village becoming afflicted with these diseases, anyone who was sick was outcast and sent to live in the mountains, becoming known as the Scald. The definition of the word scald is being covered in lesions, bumps, and sores. Everyone who was outcast has contracted syphilis. But Noth, in his infinite wisdom and connection to the Lord, told his deacon Laird, who was also afflicted, that this affliction was the result of their sins and sent him out to lead the Scald. Noth, however, kept in regular contact with Laird. Even though Noth sent Laird out to be with the Scald, Noth himself was suffering from the same affliction. Difference is that Noth was allowing himself medication to treat the syphilis, but not allowing that same luxury to his followers. He would regularly send apostles to the store in the nearest town to pick up penicillin to treat him, whilst maintaining the lie that the affliction was a result of sin. His way of controlling them, I guess. He would instead tell his followers that the drugs were merely study aids. Blake comes to and walks towards and through the Scald camp and witnesses for himself the level of suffering there. These people are extremely sick. Eventually, Blake meets Laird, sat upon his mount.
Like, bro, I'm just gonna die. I'm not.
Due to the Scald believing a prophecy that they would crucify.
I don't see how this would happen. But if I ever fucking get syphilis or any incurable disease, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just not happening, bro. Like, I would off myself over the most minor things. Like, bro, I could lose an ear. Gotta go.
By the Scald Messiah, seeing Blake's video camera and deducing that a modern day Messiah would use a camera instead of a book, they viewed Blake as their Scald Messiah, and they do just that, nailing Blake to a cross.
Oh my god.
Blake gets free, albeit painfully, and runs after Laird, getting his camera back as it's the only evidence he has of his experience at Templegate. Poor Blake gets captured again and gets buried alive. Eventually, Blake manages to find a rope in order to descend and escape Scald territory, but Laird and Nick try to pull Blake's rope up with him on it. Now, the Scald didn't much like Laird and Nick, and a mutiny was rising up within the Scald. They saw their moment and pushed Laird and Nick off the edge, killing them. Blake ends up crossing a lake with a raft, a huge waif engulfs him, but this is all in Blake's head. So I should probably explain the bright lights and loud noises Blake encounters throughout his ordeal. So the first of the bright white lights is the one which took out the chopper carrying Lynn and Blake at the start of the game. Blake encountered this a few times during his journey through Templegate, and let me explain what this is. You recall that back in Mount Massive, Murkoff were using the morphogenic engine like this. But now it seems they've had an upgrade. They are using a very different method. A different method, but one that is just as effective. By the shore of the lake, we can find a document from a Murkoff employee mentioning a lady named Jennifer Rowland. Jennifer Rowland is a familiar name. She was a member of Murkoff's staff back in Mount Massive. In a document from Outlast, she conveyed an unwillingness to continue carrying out autopsies on inmates at the asylum and requested a transfer. And guess where she ended up? On the document on the shore mentioning Jennifer Rowland, it describes some towers which are visible in the distance and mentions subjects which of course are the citizens of Templegate. Now we know that the morphogenic engine's effects left people with scarring on their brains, so the same thing would have been happening here, driving people to the point of literal insanity. The document seems to mention a mysterious feedback loop which somehow makes the signals stronger the closer they got to the site being Templegate. It seems that short-term exposure to the signals from the towers were okay, maybe like once or twice, but anything after that, then you're starting to get into dangerous territory. The signals would give the subject hallucinations and delusions dependent on the subject's own psyche. We'll dive more into why and how it affects Blake, and why, in his hallucinations, he keeps ending up back at school. After a tense journey towards the mines, and after being chased by the heretics, Blake makes it to the mines where it appears to be raining blood. Still being hounded and harassed by the heretics, Blake finally gets to an elevator which takes him deep into the mines. He hears Lynn's voice and follows it. He is at one point on his trip through the mines knocked out by Val, who stalks him as he journeys deeper into the mines. Eventually Blake gets drugged by the heretics and Val assaults him. Lynn is tied up and is unwillingly taking part in, well, a ritual. Let's just leave it there. Blake passes out. He wakes up and sees that the cultists have now invaded the mine and attacked the heretics, probably off the back of what Josiah told them earlier on, that Lynn is in the mines. And remember, in their minds, she is carrying the Antichrist. Blake makes the most of them fighting each other, grabs Lynn, and they escape the mines. However, it seems that Lynn is now very pregnant, like about to go into labor pregnant. After
How?
walking through a violent storm and making their
How
way
long
through
they
some
been
ruins,
there?
witnessing what appears to be the sun burning,
How
they're
is she
chased by Marta, who
about to go into labor now?
by being impaled by a cross. How fitting. They find shelter from the storm inside the church, and yep, Lynn is going into labor. She delivers, well, nothing, as it seems, as Blake is literally holding nothing, but sees a baby. And even Lynn goes, there's nothing there, just before she passes away from blood loss. Lynn didn't see anything because she's been deep in the mines, sheltered from the effects of the towers and the morphogenic engine. Blake, on the other hand, hasn't been so lucky. He's
So did he
really
kill
been
his
messed
wife?
up by the engine, so therefore is seeing something that simply isn't there. How on earth is Lynn pregnant?
Right.
Lynn was exposed to
Phantom?
the engine at the start of the game until the point when she was captured by the heretics and taken into the mines. But to understand why and how she is pregnant, we need to visit the events of Mount Massive again. Remember I mentioned earlier about Richard Traeger and Michelle Haas? That he assaulted her and she fell pregnant? And that he stabbed her and she wasn't even pregnant in the first place? Well, it turns out that the morphogenic engine was causing female employees to inhibit symptoms of phantom pregnancies. Murkoff ended up transferring all of their female workers and all female inmates to other facilities due to this, and that's why there are no females in Mount Massive at all. The same thing happened to poor Lynn. Whilst all this is happening, Noth has set out his plans for his cultists. He has led them to believe that the end is coming due to the birth of the Antichrist, that they are too late to stop it, so his followers drink cyanide in a mass suicide. Noth enters the church and sees Blake sat there, and of course, because he is affected by the signals from the towers, he sees the baby too and tells Blake to crush the baby under his foot. Noth then kills himself. Blake wanders outside, and after walking past all of the dead cultists, he drops to his knees and sees everything before him burning up. And one final bright flash of white light. Blake has seen the end of the world. Well, not quite.
Yeah.
Whilst Blake was in the
It's
church
an
talking
illusion, I
with
guess.
Noth, the Wall Rider, remember how it possessed a colony of ants, had arrived and crawled up onto the Murkoff towers, which were emitting the signal, attacking it and destroying them. In one last hurrah, the tower let out a powerful blast, and this is the one seen by Blake at the end.
Did it kill him?
So I guess this is a good time to talk about Blake's hallucinations and the delusions that resulted in his
Yeah.
exposure to the signals from the tower. As mentioned, Blake seemed to end up back at school for some reason, and this is all because of his psyche. He's tormented, haunted, and plagued by an incident from his childhood at school. Something terrible happened at school. Now, at the start of the game, you'll recall that Blake woke up saying another girl's name, Jessica Gray. Now, Jessica Gray, as we know, was a friend of Blake and Lynn, and they all attended school together. Jessica liked Blake, but Blake didn't really feel the same way about Jessica and instead liked Lynn. One evening after school, Blake and Jessica were walking out of school and they were approached by a priest named Father Loutermilch. Now, this was a Catholic school, so there were many priests. They were dragged into a nearby classroom and Loutermilch kept Jessica behind.
Oh, fuck no. He trying to fuck this little ass girl. Ew! Oh my god, that's so sick, bro. Come on now.
As he was sexually abusing her, and Loutermilch forced Blake to leave. Poor Jessica was terrified, and as Blake was walking away, he heard Jessica scream, run off, and saw Loutermilch chasing her. Blake chased after Loutermilch and found Jessica on the stairs with a broken neck. Loutermilch had killed her, and in the aftermath had forced Blake into keeping his mouth shut, which tormented him for years. Now, throughout these hallucinations, as mentioned before, Blake seemed to be stalked by a creature with many limbs and a long tongue. This creature was in fact the embodiment of how
Yeah.
he saw Loutermilch, a grotesque monster. We know it's Loutermilch as the creature has the same port wine stain on his face. What's interesting though is that when Blake suffers these hallucinations and records things on his camera whilst suffering these hallucinations, the video is just static, but the audio, when played backwards, features Loutermilch speaking.
You killed her. And I never told a soul. I kept your secret. Our secret. Thank you. Thank you. You never told a soul. You let the smallest sorrow of her suicide wash over the unacceptable tragedy of her murder.
Very creepy indeed. Anyway, after Blake saw the world end, but not really, 7 hours later, Pauline Glick and Murkoff employees turn up, but interestingly, there's no Paul Marion. Remember, the last we saw of him, it seemed his daughter had been abducted. I guess you could say that their experiment is now over, given that all the cultists are dead. Pauline Glick is concerned by the fact that someone outside Murkoff has connected the events of Mount Massive Asylum and Temple Gate and have been feeding information to Paul Marion. Now, we obviously know this to be Simon Peacock. Glick says that it was Paul Marion's job to make sure that Lynn and Blake didn't end up finding Temple Gate, but obviously due to the fact that his daughter is missing and I guess that now Paul Marion is missing, that didn't happen. I wonder who was feeding the information to Lynn and Blake. Maybe Simon Peacock, or Wayland perhaps. They come across Blake, who is completely catatonic. Glick tells the Murkoff team to send him to the nearest facility with forensic psychiatrists and orders them to dig around in his head. Knowing Murkoff, that's not good for Blake at all. Glick gets the news that Paul Marion is indeed missing and says that with what he knows, this makes Paul Marion a very dangerous man indeed. We eventually see that Paul Marion is actually in a hospital bed telling his story to an agent, but we don't know what's going to happen after that.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not sure where they'll take Outlast 3. Of course, they've got the Outlast trials coming out, likely in 2062 or something like that. But given that that's a prequel, which
Actually,
covers
buddy,
the origins and the very shady
it's already
backstory
out.
of Murkoff, we aren't going to find out what happened to Blake for a very long time. The final part of the Outlast story so far is that in the comic, we see Paul Marion tied up and being asked questions by Simon Peacock. He is asking Paul about the Walrider, and he tells him that they need to find it. All Peacock says is that he himself, after being experimented on, was the first draft, the rough draft of the Walrider. Billy Hope and Miles Upshur, well, that is the masterpiece. He goes on to state that the engine needs a delivery mechanism, a method of infection. And in the case of the asylum,
He's so ugly.
it was madness and
He's
witnessing
genuinely,
enough
of course.
horror.
Are those
It would make
maggots,
videos
bro?
and use them to mold the subject's nightmares. But then they realized that an effective delivery method was religion, praying to gods, a trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Mm-hmm. W video, bro. Holy shit. This was 3 years ago. I'm sure he made something about the Outlast trials now. No way he didn't. Yeah, it's a whole thing about the Outlast. Holy fuck. Okay. We'll watch that next time. Now, what we're gonna do. What we talking about, gang? Holy fuck, L stutter. It's a stream DL friendly W Outlast. Excuse me, bro. I did not have my Twitch chat open, so I did not see that shit. But what the fuck? What we talking about, gang? Holy fuck, L stutter. Is this stream DL friendly? W Outlast. Excuse me. So to answer all those questions, this stream is not DL friendly. If you're on the down low, don't be dating these girls, giving them false hope. Go fuck a man. L Stutter, yeah, fuck you. Was talking about Outlast, nigga. It was a whole story, bum. Shit, even on my stream manager, I didn't see that shit. So I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Yeah, so Twitch is fucking stupid, bro. Not gonna lie. Fucking, I get tired of Twitch, bro. Okay, we're gonna get to this game. Where the fuck? Oh, my game is not on. Hold on. I don't know if I want to play Outlast or if I want to play this one scary game that I did not fucking finish at all. I'm gonna play a scary game. So yeah, this shit. Stupid monkey. We're playing a scary game now. I have to post it. Hold on. I actually already started this shit, but so I'm gonna just break it down. Basically, what in the first part of it, we come to the house, we see a car crash as we're coming to this house. We see a car crash as we're coming to this crib. Apparently, a woman died here. As we get to the like everything's done in the crib, we see it, we get our memories and shit. We see all our memories. We go to where the part where the woman died at. There's pictures and there's all these paintings. Then, next thing you know, we find out the woman that died was our wife. And we killed her. And we had a mask on and we killed her. I think we were possessed. There's no way we weren't possessed, but apparently we killed our wife. And the wife is now hunting this home. As we were leaving the home, we crashed. So we're the car that we saw when we were coming to this place. Then we get teleported back to the house. Now we're back in the house. Now we actually see with the whole entirety of the house. It's hunted. It's a mess. It's moldy. Oh my god. Now they're telling us we have to exercise the fucking spirit. Fuck. How the fuck do you spell exercise? No, how do you spell like the like exercise? Yeah, there it is. All right, there we go. Ugh. I have to lock in now. I want to turn my light off, but like, bro, I need a ring light. I would turn my light off, but I don't have a ring light, and you guys just wouldn't see me. I would just be a black mess. Be happy. We're gonna continue. Bro, I need to set up my checkpoints. Start up my I'm about to say start up my fucking game. I have to press the button.
I'm stuck at the gate.
Well, there
It's
you
not
go.
just the two of us anymore.
See you soon.
Yeah. Yeah. We did all that. We did all that shit. Let me see. Hold on. Can y'all? Let me make sure y'all can hear the game, cause, bro, oh my god. Monitor and output. Yeah, that sounds about right. Look. Oh my god. This shit is actually terrifying, cause it's actually dark as shit. Like, it was light at least before it was light, bro. Now it's just dark. We have to find a way to vanquish the spirit. In effect, basically, we have to exercise the spirit. And I found a book on the occult. I swear I did. I didn't have it in my inventory. I don't think I could take the book. How do I? Oh, no, I have a flashlight and a fucking plane ticket. That was for my wife, but she's fucking dead. So what do I need this plane ticket for? Open that door. Oh. This is my daughter's room, I think. What's that noise? Close that door. Turn that light off. Stop that shit now. This room's still dirty as shit. No, 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 no. Turn off. Turn the fuck off. Move, bitch. Let's not. Yeah, there's nothing in here. I swear there was a book on that shit. I think it's downstairs. That's the closet. Some of y'all need to come out of it. All you DL boys. Bro, there was a book on the occult, bro. I swear it was. It was in her. It was in our room, though. I think. Oh, we just came from that way. The fuck is that noise? Maybe that shit was downstairs. No. Let's not. Oh, thought it was money. Nah, that shit was downstairs, bro. I know it was. That shit was downstairs. Bro, I swear I'm hearing double, gang. Murders. Yeah! Approximately 4 inches more than Pleasant Falls. This person so 911 called me from made from victim Sarah Pout. Upon arrival at the scene, they found the victim Sarah Pout deceased. She had been stabbed several times and was found laying face down in the upstairs room. Despite emergency services' best efforts to save her, she had passed on before their arrival. The primary suspect in this case is Sarah's husband, Gary Pout. Police are unable to question him as he was also found deceased only blocks away from a fatal car accident with a tree. He had the murder weapon in the car with him, which makes this case seem very open and shut. The investigation is ongoing at this time. However, the police have released some information on. Can we rotate this bitch? I guess not. Oh, we could do this the whole time. I'm stupid as fuck. Slumped over the steering wheel. Some of the murder weapons car with him, which makes the case very open and shut. The investigation is ongoing this time. However, police have released some information on the victims. Gary and Sarah were known to police as neighbors have reported potential domestic disputes over the year. Although Sarah had never pressed charges of police, the couple had a daughter, Maggie Pout. Her 19. Her whereabouts are unknown at this time. If anyone has any information on how to contact Maggie, please get in touch with PFPD. It's not often such brutal crimes happen in our small town. Let's pull together as a community as we say farewell to one of our residents well before her time. Wow. So I'm just playing as an asshole right now. Okay, it's locked. Okay, it's locked. What was that shit? There was a book on how to get rid of these fucking things, bro. It's the front door. It must be in the other room. It must be. Nah, bro. It was in here, wasn't it? I had to like get rid of her spirit, and there was an occult. There was an occult book in downstairs somewhere, bro. Let's close that door. No. Is it somewhere over here? But there was definitely a book. I know that for a fact. Oh shit. Where's the book?
Listen up. We've got some news hot off the presses. Tragedy has struck Pleasant Falls. A woman was found...
That's the one it is.
Listen up. We've got some news hot off the presses. Tragedy has struck Pleasant Falls. A woman was found murdered in her home. She was brutally stabbed over 10 times. The victim's name was Sarah Pout. Sarah managed to make a call to 911 before she succumbed to her injuries. The primary suspect of this brutal murder is believed to be her husband, Gary Pout. He was found deceased only mere blocks away, slumped over the steering wheel of his car after a fatal collision with a tree. The murder weapon was found in the car with him, leading investigators to speculate that he crashed his car while fleeing the scene of the crime.
This old ass house more stocked up than my fucking crib in my college,
unsuccessful
bro.
in tracking her down. If anyone knows the location, please contact Pleasant Falls.
It was in here. What was that door?
June 6, 1999. My hands are shaking as I write this. Maggie's gone. Michael's gone. Gary's gone too. At least the man I love is. It's just me and the monster living inside Gary. And the beatings are getting worse and I'm running out of excuses. I'm so tired. The lady next door came over yesterday. She must have heard something. She urged me to call the police, but I just can't do it. I love Gary so much. He's never gotten over Michael leaving us, and he blames me. And maybe it is my fault. he does is drink, locked in that basement day and night reading those weird books. He's so unhinged now. What do I do? I can't abandon him. I know Gary's in there somewhere, and I'll be right here when he surfaces again. Fuck, this is so hard. I have to stay strong for him.
That's so ass, bro. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I don't do good with these type of games, bro. These are actually scary shits, bro. Outlast is so fucking different. There's no control. Okay. The fuck? No! No! You can't come in here. What do I do? What do I do? What the fuck? No, you don't see me, bitch. We're not here. Okay. What the fuck? Open the fucking door, pussy. Where's this book? Okay. She said he used to be in the basement reading these weird ass books. So therefore, these books should be in the basement. I can't go in there. Alright. I guess we can only go this way. What the fuck? You're not telling me these paintings are just in your fucking house. I look in the mirror, I see only a husk. My wife gonna kill my ass. Stop. Stop it right now. What the fuck? I can't open it. Open that door. Car is gone. Excuse me. Ooh, you grimy bitch. You grimy bitch. You bitch. Give me this. Fuck. Become one with the reflection. Well, keep out. Well, how do I get in there? What is that ringing? Bro, all he did was fucking drink. Damn, what the fuck do I do? Bro, why the fuck I just try to hide in there like this is out west? Lights, obviously. Oh, wait. We have to, yeah, we probably have to take this off. I'm not there. What the fuck? Why is this low-key not as scary as like the other shit? Insanity. Nigga, are they talking to Hyro and fucking who wrote this shit? They fucking speaking in Braille. You'll lose your soul. Insanity. The wall lies beyond. This is a basement, so now we need to find these books this fuckboy be reading. What the fuck? This shit is scary, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Watch out. Move, bitch. What the fuck? Oh fuck no. What type of demonic ass shit? This is what he had on when he killed his wife. This is the book. I'm not reading any of this shit, by the way. This version, Okay. We have to get her out of here, to exercise this fuck ass spirit. I actually feel for her, I'm not gonna lie. She can kill this nigga, but for the sake of the game, body of the deceased, any part of the remains, we have to find some part of her body. Image of the deceased, a picture of her. Clothing worn in the eyes of God. I do not know what the fuck that means. An object of ancestral significance. Don't know what the fuck that means. Once collected, cleanse the objects with fire and spread the ash over the site when they are slain. Where they were slain, which means upstairs in that room with all the pictures where she died. Alright. Do they show it here? Find examine interest. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Oh! No! Listen. No, bitch. I'm sorry. Where's my light? I don't have a flashlight. I don't see her. Keep her head down. Go. I'm sorry. Huh? This bitch just break my neck. I died. How the fuck are we supposed to get out the basement then? She's blocking the fucking exit. She's just sitting there. And there's some shit. Oh, fuck my back. It's some bullshit, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
A woman was found murdered in her home. Stabbed over 10 times. Managed to make a call to 911. Had been victim
It's
to
just
domestic
me and the
abuse.
monster living in me does his drink.
Maybe it is my fault.
I abandoned Gary so much.
Bro, I feel so bad for this girl, bro. Oh, fuck no. Did they just start me back at the fucking beginning of this part? Gang, come on now. Oh, I have to find some. Oh, I was supposed to die. Okay, bet. We have to find some of her remains. But she died here, so where the fuck would her remains be? Why are the doors different colors? Weren't they white? They've been moaning in my ear and shit. Why are the rooms different? I swear her room didn't look like this. Are we going throughout the years of them living in this house? Because I'm so like, why does Maggie's room look so childlike when she was 19? Ah. You will be down here soon. What the fuck? But this light ain't enough for me, gang. Where the fuck is her body, nigga? Wait, she made a phone call. We have to figure out where she made a phone call from. Where's the bathroom? Was there a bathroom here? What the fuck? Oh, you can hide now. Well, shit. Know what that fucking means. He hides slow as shit, though, from me. Fuck, open this drawer. I see I'm your only friend.
1st of June, 1990. I asked him today what he does down there. He just stared at me silently with pure hatred. I don't understand how this happened. I don't know him anymore, and sometimes he scares me. He spends all of his time in that basement. Next time he does a beer run, I'm gonna sneak down there and look for myself. I trust Gary, but the man I'm living with isn't Gary anymore. I have to keep Maggie safe, if nothing else.
Fuck. Those fake ass drawers. Maybe her remains are outside, bro. So many crosses. Only time I'll be scared of a cross. Only time I'll be scared of a cross is in these type of games, bro. Cause holy shit. They just seem so morbid in these. And like out of place. Are we good to get out of here? I don't see her coming in here, bro. I think we're good. What the fuck? Let's go outside. Do lights work? No. We'll go outside. Can we go outside? No. Well then. The fuck was that? The fuck? Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Oh my gosh. And there's a cross right there too. Oh no, the cross that was up there is in the ground. What the fuck? How the fuck am I supposed to get out of here? She's gonna fucking sit there. Alright, fuck it, we gotta go. Fuck this bitch. Fuck it. Gotta go. Have to find her remains. This shit is pissing me off. That's oh no, 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 no. Sorry. What the fuck? Okay, we finna go back out. You gotta stop being pussy, bro. I ain't never been pussy. You ain't gonna scare me. Fuck it, bro, cause I ain't never been scared of no witch. Fuck it. What the Excuse me?
I'm not the one with problems.
What the fuck are these?
I just need to numb the pain. It's the only thing I can do to not feel.
She was, oh yeah, she took those pains. You guys just go. You guys just go. You guys just go. We need to find her, like her remains, bro. What? I'm not alone. You're definitely not alone. What the fuck? We need this, huh? Take. Bill camera, switch to camera mode, press. Oh, it's a camera you take photos. Photos will also often reveal hidden clues and surprise you would normally see. If you're stuck, try taking a photo. You might find a solution or a clue. Okay, I think I'm good. What does this say? Some numbers. Closer. Key. Okay. Open up that door. Open up that door. Fuck no. Oh, so this when they were there. I guess this was when they were redecorating the house.
A spokesperson from the CADV, or Citizens
The
Against
fuck?
Domestic Violence, had mentioned during a press statement that it's easy to turn a blind eye to domestic violence by explaining away the problem. Often in cases like these, victims
Shut that shit up. Trying to hear that shit. Open up that door. Open up that door.
Who the fuck are you? All you do is drink. You're a monster. Can't live like this anymore.
Bro. That's why y'all gotta be careful who y'all marry, bro. Whether or not this nigga was possessed or he did this shit himself, be careful who y'all fucking. Be careful, bro. Cause these days, bro, you got no motherfucking inside and out. Well, in general, you should know the person inside and out before you get married, man. What the fuck? It's a fucking psych ward? What the fuck? What the fuck just happened? Keep it pushing. Come on, bro. Oh, no, 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 no. We went this way. We gotta go this way. We gotta go this way. Right? Yeah, we gotta go this way. What? What? What the fuck? Okay, well, we went this way. Man, this place. Man. Damn, y'all had a deal. What the fuck? A loving memory. Who is this? Gary plus friend condolences. Take the time you need. Most all saying security. Huh. Who died? Take all. What's that? hearts up with you. Something out of domestic violence. Who the fuck died besides my wife? Wait. The fuck is that noise? It's the dinner table again. Can I hide? Yep. Hide, nigga. Hide! Leave, bitch. Leave. I think we get up now. Damn. June 1990? Damn, they really did a whole damn near remodeling up this house, bro. What's this? I guess we can't see. It's blocked off. Wait. Oh, fuck no. They blocked it off. I can't leave. Alright. Alrighty then. Alright. What the fuck? What's this? Oh, it's her finger. No, it's her tooth. What? No thanks. This is a no thanks situation. No fucking thanks. No. 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 Why am I still here? Why the fuck? I guess we're gonna go back upstairs. Now I need to find clothing of Christ or something like that. And I have to find clothing of Christ. I have to find what else do I have to fucking find? I really don't fucking know.
It's easy to turn a blind eye to domestic
Oh,
violence.
yeah.
by
All you
explaining
do
away
is
the
drink.
problem.
I need you, and I love you more than I can express.
Love
Don't
trumps
understand
rational
how this
thinking
happens.
and action.
Sometimes he scares me. I
The
just
assailant
need to
in these
know
Oh my
the
God.
pain.
will suffer from addiction.
Yeah, I know them burps. Yeah, I know them burps where it's like you think you're gonna burp, but it then returns to a throw up. I just had one of those. Thinking about it almost made me throw up again. I'm in the basement. Find a photo. Okay, well that shouldn't be that hard. Like surely she has photos just lying around. I mean, this was her home, you know. Ooh. Hey, put that baby on mute. All right. Are they fucking? Hey. Oh. What's this? NISCOM. What the fuck?
I told you.
Excuse me, nigga. What the fuck just happened? Alright. Oh. It's a picture. Her picture. Do I need a whole picture? Oh, fine, rest. Fuck. I could have opened that door myself, but I guess. So many cameras. Oh, police line. We didn't get interviewed, or did we get interviewed before we killed her on some like? Yeah, sit down.
I told you I was sleeping. He was out with Maggie getting ice cream or something. I don't know. I was asleep. Look, my baby boy just died. And I don't know how. What kind of God would kill an innocent baby? I didn't kill my son.
Our
Yes, I
son
had postnatal depression.
died.
Thank you. Woke to a noise. It had a strange feeling something was wrong. And I ran to his room and I found his crib collapsed. His lifeless body. Oh, what the fuck? My baby boy.
Our son died, bro. What the fuck? Damn. Lineup? Excuse me, nigga? Okay, we can't go any of those ways. Fizz, lemonade, fuck out of here. I want a smoothie. Let's go upstairs, apparently. I think, what the fuck? We can't go anywhere. I guess we'll go downstairs. That's the only way we can go, looks like. Or up? Okay, let's go upstairs. I mean, up the elevator. Can we go in here? Did I already try that shit? Probably. What the fuck? What the fuck? Don't fucking look at me, nigga. Fucking weird. Let's check in here first. Shit down. Shit. I'm not paying out to know. Okay. Nothing in here, I think. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, nothing. Let's just go to the elevator. Um, I don't know where I'm going, so well, they're all B6. So guess it doesn't fucking matter. Do we press all of them? Let's press all of them. Shit. Take me away. Hello? Am I leaving or what? The elevator doesn't work? Question mark? Hello? Well, I mean, I guess that's not where we're going. But what am I looking for? Hmm. It's a key card. Ooh, shit. Which means we can access this way. Drunk and disorderly physical assault. 79. There's another picture of her. It's a police picture. What the fuck? Hey, you stop. You stop. Fuck. The fuck? Hey. What the fuck? Wait. Hold on. The fuck happened? Hold on real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry. What the fuck? What happened to the audio? Stupid ass shit. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. There's literally nowhere to fucking hide. Fuck! Same way it was when we left this bitch. So, our own door is still open too. I don't think there's anything new here. He's gone, but I still hear him. He's trying to talk, but it's faded, muted, and jumbled. What does it mean? These lights just genuinely aren't enough. Is there like an actual just a picture game? Like, why am I looking all over for pieces of a picture? That's not. Bro, what the fuck was that? It thought it was blood. Okay, it's not showing anymore. Ooh, it's a rest of her picture. um. So, how do I get out? Oh. Oh, fuck no. No! My God. Damn! Damn! Hey, bro, that bitch violent. Kinky. What's the fuck's the crouch button?
An investigation has begun.
This gotta be
into the tragic
circle.
death of a 6-month-old baby boy.
Look,
Father
my
was out
baby
with their
boy
2-year-old
just
daughter
died.
buying
I had a
groceries. When they
strange
returned
feeling.
home, they found the mother of the child
What kind
holding
of
the
God
infant
would
in her
kill
arms.
an innocent
The
baby?
police have taken the mother in for questioning, but she has since been released. A spokesperson for Pleasant Falls PD told us that the death has been.
My God, we're on the floor again, like a little bitch. That's up, boy. Get up, nigga. I do shit. Fucking piece of shit, bro. Find anything worn in the eyes of God. Okay. So it must be our clothes in our room, right? Because there's all those crosses, so and they were worn in the eyes of God. So it makes sense that that's where we would have our shit, right? But that's what makes sense. Worn in the eyes of God. Or damn, bro, she got lingerie and shit. Nigga, she was getting sexy for you, boy. What a waste.
January 11th, 1986. We just got back from the hospital with the latest addition to our family, little Michael, and he's perfect. Feeling a little strange though, almost depressed. I feel so guilty for feeling this way when it should be a time for celebration. Gary's been great, but he doesn't understand how I'm feeling. I tried to talk to him about it, but he just doesn't get it and tells me to be happy. He's right, but it's not that simple. Isn't it normal that I'm having postnatal depression with my second child when I didn't have it with my first? I'm depressed and happy at the same time. My God, this is confusing. I hope it passes. I know Gary will support me through this. I'm sure it's all going to be fine. The nurse suggested that I keep a journal to help work through my thoughts. So, here we go.
All right. Close one eyes of God. Well, I guess it's not over there. Let's try the baby's room. I don't know. That's not the baby's room, but. I don't know. What will be clothes worn in the eyes of God? Our next step will be downstairs, but I don't see what will be downstairs. That represents clothes worn in the eyes of God. Fuck. is way longer than I fucking thought, not gonna lie. Yeah, we're downstairs. Is this real? What the fuck? Let's go this way. Oh, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? Why are you there? Why are you there? Oh!
Punishment. They have many names.
Dang, are we in purgatory because of what we did to our wife?
I don't know what culture this is. This is a place for reflection. The fabric between this place and the beautiful darkness is breaking down.
What the fuck? This reminds me of Pinhead. Listen to the trees. What the fuck? What the fuck? Down here soon. Listen to the trees. It's falling. What the fuck?
March 1985. He's like a changed man out here. At first I wasn't sure. This place is creepy, but last night was simply amazing. Maybe this was a great idea. It just needs a woman's touch.
Bro, I can't see shit. What's this?
March 1985. He really surprised me this weekend. He blindfolded me and whisked me off in the car. When he took the blindfold off, I saw this horrible little rundown cabin in the woods. He'd purchased this place from an estate sale of a deceased hunter or something. He wants to fix it up so we'll have our own little romantic getaway. Maggie's staying with the neighbors for the weekend, so I guess I'll make the most of it.
Okay. So, I guess. Alright, can we go down there or no? Say what now? Excuse me? I'm a bitch. Better watch your fucking mouth, nigga.
Did you hear that? Dad's a drunk. He drank and drank.
Is that our baby?
The answer lies below.
Right here. Move. Right? can't fucking get down here. That's how we crouch. Eyes below. I have no fucking clue what he's talking about. What the fuck? Alright. It's a whole weapon right there that we are not taking with us. Let's go back in the house. Let's take a picture of it, bro, because I don't understand.
You better hurry. She's here.
Oh my. Nigga just told me, you better hurry, she is here. And he says that as I'm fucking dying. Worthless piece of shit. Just a worthless fucking voice in my head, bro.
Oh my. You just keep dying. Over and over and over. I'm going to let
Yeah.
you in on a little secret.
What's up?
You'll be stunned by a sudden burst of light, but only if they don't see it coming. Through the switch, bright light. She can't stand it.
Right light, like a camp. Oh, like my light.
Little Michael. I'm still not used
Like
to the
my,
name, but he's starting to grow on me. He's perfect. And he looks just like you. He's got your eyes.
Well, go back to the cabin, bro. He said like the light does her in, like the sudden burst of bright light, which would mean the fucking flashlight in my hands, I would presume.
March 1985.
God.
I don't ever want to come back. Last night there were all kinds of strange noises. I could hear whispering. I think maybe some of the locals don't want us here. I heard something in the basement and had to investigate. Oh my god, it's a slaughterhouse down there with some really weird shit going on. I appreciate taxidermy as an art form, but this looked like more than that. Between the cabin's unknown history and the strange noises, it'd be a cold day in hell before I set foot in here again. This is how those horror movies start.
She ain't wrong. Very perceptive woman, bro. Very smart woman. All right. Just threw me out the camp. I mean, the picture frame, boy. Shit's dumb. She like randomly popped up in my face. The fuck? I don't know if I'm good or not. I can't see that way. I'm getting up. Damn! Bright lights, bro. Apparently it said bright lights, so our flashlight should do the job, bro. Either that or I don't know what the fuck else to be honest with you. Find clothing worn in the eyes of God. I deadass don't know what the fuck that means. You gotta get to that shit right there.
For the last holiday period, reached a whopping 95 deaths. 60% of those were alcohol.
Let's go back up. Back there. Oh.
It's bad luck to see the.
The fuck? Their camera can be infected with a phenotypic ghost. Be warned, though, it was going to upset her. Gang, how am I supposed to whip that camera out and flash her before she kills my ass, bro? Let's be honest, gang. Be completely honest here. The fuck happened? Oh, the fuck? Oh. Oh yeah, this is hell. Oh yeah. Ancestral sentiment.
The fuck is he? What the fuck was that?
Come on now, bro. An asylum? This is hell for sure. Come on! Those are different. There's no way. I wish they would give us a fucking running feature, but I guess that's not something they want to do. There's absolutely nothing in here. Let's go. Yeah, this game is way longer than I thought. I'm not gonna lie. Alright. Stairs. The door is already open. Well, bring this fucking elevator upstairs. Nothing. Fucking nothing. What the fuck? Y'all see that shit? That's supposed to zoom. What the fuck? Hurry the fuck up, please. What the fuck? Now there's nothing there. I don't know what to do. I want to go all the way back here because, bro, if I go all the way back, there's nothing to do there. I'm gonna be pissed. Come on, what the fuck? It's not moving, it's just not working. Oof. Holy shit. We have to go back there. There's no way we don't. Oh shit. Who the fuck is this? Did I get fucking kidnapped and drugged or something? Opium. Yeah, cookies. I'm trying to get your face out of my movements. My movements around the facility. Somewhat restricted activities and bright ash and stand on high screen and I'm sending the body down to the chute to the seas gym or the obese gentleman. Okay. Recovery. Okay. This is me. Symptoms, delusional. Action, Satan, satiation. Patient believes he can commune with the dead. We will shatter his mind. I don't know what we're talking about. Nothing. Okay. That's me though. This is me again. I got a fucking lobotomy. Multiple personalities. Shit. Okay. This nigga had fucking everything in the book. Can't go out that way. I guess we were just supposed to look in here and that's it, huh? There's nothing else to do. Yeah, there's opium. But what? Well, that's opium. This is chloroform. Regular picture. Hmm. Eh. Oh, we were able to go in there. There's nothing in there. Let's go back, I guess. This game is a little confusing sometimes. So we could just walk in these bitches. We didn't have to like try to open the door. We just had to walk in. Yeah, I'm fucking stupid. Let's get the fuck out of here. Move, bitch. Open the door. Open the door. Open the door. There we go. No, okay. What the fuck are we doing? What am I doing here? It's nothing. Cool ass clock. Hmm. Boy, y'all finna piss me off. Type of shit making nigga rage quit a game. Cause what the fuck? Why can't I find anything? I found multiple versions of me. And I have like shit, my fucking controller does. Apparently I have one of these, I have multiple personalities. So that's something. But none of them are like significant right now. I can't do anything with that information. Well, this is different. Just take a picture. Really? Just guts. Like it's nothing else, just guts. Okay. Nothing there. Just went into. Just here too. Bro, come on now. Need a key or something. Bro, the key has to be in here. Or like, if that's what we're looking for, the key has to be in here, bro. This shit is taking forever. I don't know what the fuck I'm even looking for at this point. But it's saying it's something like I got a fuck on the bottom here, so. The fuck? I've been fucking paperwork with finance. It's always lied. You keep the only key in your office, making my access very limited. I kind of said, I only asked it's just like copy key with me. I agree with your response. In his office? Where the fuck is his office? So he never got a copy of the key, but where is this nigga's office, bro? Brave Theater 2. This has to be staff now. This is laboratory. Stairs. Doctor Reminder. Dr. Tannis. That's fucking one. Gang, what the fuck? I'm about to lose my fucking mind. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? So this nigga never got a copy of the key. Yo, what the fuck am I looking at, bro? I'm here. We need to get down here. The stairs are blocked off. Bro, you're shitting me right now. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I'm fucking irritated. There's gotta be, like, there's not shit here. What the fuck? Damn, that's fucking die again? This nigga always going unconscious. Pussy. Damn, all this glass. Fucking body? Oh my god. Oh yeah, he is obese. Little fat ass. No thanks. Fat ass nigga. The glass. Here's the glass. already hearing the glass. How am I supposed to make around if he just hears the glass? Just fat ass. Don't look at me. Ooh. Same shit, so work on this one. Just whack him up, I guess. I might have glitched it. I'm stuck now. Fucking stuck. I can really only move when I'm doing that, so I gotta. I had to fucking quit. This fucking shit wasn't working. maybe I should. So how do I trap him? He just throw it. He just threw it at me. What type of shit? Man, who the fuck are you? Alright, do this shit, right? Boom, okay. Alright. So, how about you go farther away, nigga? Like, what the fuck am I doing here? Go away, fat boy. Stupid ass fat. Oh, I do not exist. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. Trap him, trap him, trap him, trap him, trap him. Fat boy! Nah, you stay where you at, fat nigga. That was a nice little touch. Talking about you should have trapped. Yeah, nigga, fuck you. Yeah, nigga, fuck you. Fat ass. Oh my god. Now I'm at my house. What the?
All that training paid off, it seems, as she came first in the annual trial.
Excuse me.
That's the fuck I was talking about. With the camera, I'll take a picture as fast as I can, nigga. I could barely get the camera out. Oh, fucking right. Fucking ribs hurt, bro. Okay. I took a picture of her! I took a picture! I took a fucking picture! Fuck this guy, bro. One more fucking time, yo. Where is that coming from? Holy flashbang. I guess that was for her. Oh, it's like a white chick check. Yeah, not reading that shit.
April 1996. I hadn't spoken to him in what seemed like an eternity. So I was shocked when he asked me to come back to the cabin. I assumed he wanted to fix a marriage. Maybe try to move past everything and start over. Last time we were at the cabin, it was so romantic until the freak show started. And I vowed never to go back, but if it'll help our marriage, I'll try anything to end this nightmare. Once we got there, he just started babbling about this being the place of conception and rummaging through that fucked up basement. I don't know if I should be indulging him or getting help. I want him to get help, but I'm scared of how he'll react.
Mm. Take the fucking photo. The photo does nothing. This photo does jack shit. I'm not gonna lie. Alright. That's a fucking enough. What the fuck? Yeah. That's enough. I'm gonna continue this game probably next stream. Um, yeah, that's enough. I will continue this game next stream. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you to everybody who's watched and who is watching. If you're watching this after it is uploaded, thank you. So feel free to like and subscribe. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Have a great day and